Girl, did you see my last reel? People thought I used a camera crew.
Seriously? Which phone?
The Samsung Galaxy A17. It makes content I take cinematic with bright blur-free shots even at night.
Does it have AI? I'm tired of switching apps though.
That's the best part. Gemini, circle to search, music search, works across all your apps.
Wow! Why are you only now telling me this?
The Samsung Galaxy A17. Slim design, powerful AI, stunning camera. Built for the ones who live boldly. Get your Samsung Galaxy A07 or A17 under 3,000 Ghana cedis at any Samsung authorized dealer.
Hey, but my budget is 1,200.
Don't worry, we have the Samsung Galaxy A06 for you.
City 97.3 Accra. City 97.3 Rural Variety.
This is the story of Anthony Owusu-Ansah and his delivery business, Shark Express. What started as one man's dream is now a thriving same-day delivery business that serves hundreds of families. Through financing, mentorship, business networks, and market access, Absa is helping businesses like Shark Express grow, create jobs, build futures, and deliver joy across Ghana. Behind Anthony's success isn't only hard work, it's having the right partner like Absa. From funding to guidance, Absa stands with entrepreneurs who dare to dream.
We see your story and we invite you to write it with us. Your story matters. Absa.
You are listening to City 97.3 FM, the city's finest.
There can be no other 97.3. No need to change. Keep it tuned to City. You're number one. Don't look no further. We've got it all covered. City FM.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning to life.
Good morning.
Music, talk, inspiration, in perspective.
Express yourself. Good morning, my neighbor.
City FM, your station.
It's a refreshing lifestyle.
City FM, 97.3.
From whence comes my help? You have been my only hope, and every time I call on Him, He will answer me. Now when I'm
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
You have been my only hope, and every time I call on Him, He will answer me. So everybody say, say, this is my testimony.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
You want to move from side to side. Come on.
6:32 on the City Breakfast Show. Today is Tuesday, the last day of June. It's the 30th day of June. Welcome to the City Breakfast Show. Queen Darling and the Bethel Revival Choir. And it's called Amen. An affirmation of your confidence in the reality and the faithfulness of His promise. Welcome to the City Breakfast Show, and we are continuing our continued coverage of a situation in Accra, Ghana, flooding that took many homes, waters receding, but we are told more rains coming from Aflao in the east all through to Sekondi, Takoradi areas. We'll bring you reports throughout the day on the development. The president was flown yesterday over the country to assess the damage. He's asked the finance minister to release the necessary financial resources to help deal with flooding. It's a lot to discuss on the show this morning. We're just grateful to God to be alive, and we thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for helping us with the show yesterday, with all your comments, the links, and the videos and the audios. As we always say, drive safe. It's better late than never. And going green is not just a nice thing to do. It saves you money, and it also helps you to experience new products. So, for example, an EV will reduce what you spend getting around. You can switch to energy efficient equipment and lower the cost of running your home or business. And Absa Bank can help you finance all of it. It's called the Absa Green Finance Loan. Gives you what you need to make it happen. Walk into any of our branches, ask about the Absa Green Finance Loan today, and say yes to a greener tomorrow. Your story matters, Absa. It's an interactive show. We're really looking forward to hearing from you. Send us a WhatsApp message on 053-998-6996. And the nature of the rain suggests that even some newspapers could not work yesterday. I mean, yesterday we had a very small team working, and I want to credit the team for the great job they did as we continue with our work this morning, bringing you all you need to know about what's happening in the country. The newspaper review segment is where we're starting from. And I'm going to do that courtesy of Fidelity Bank. Switch to us and enjoy amazing benefits from lower interest rate, high loan amounts, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. Call us on 0800-003-355 or switch to fidelitybank.com.gh or visit our socials at Fidelity Bank GH. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. Keep sending us those voice notes. Keep letting us know what's happening with your movement. I think the concept of movement is very important. How do you get or commute to your place of work or abode? And how has the rain affected it? Where do you live? Today we'll not just focus on Accra. Yesterday we had some reports from the Volta region. Even in Aflao, there were flooding incidents all through to Ho, and then as well. Yes, and then the central region had its fair share of the flood related incidents. Now the truth is that there are more rains expected, and this morning I think the weather forecast I saw, let me just read what it says. It says mostly cloudy conditions. Just give me a minute. Mostly cloudy conditions will dominate over most areas within the country, with mist and fog forming over the coast, forest and hilly areas in the early hours of the morning. However, few places within the coastal sector, they don't mention the specific places, are expected to experience slight to moderate rains or thunderstorms. Now that's a wide range, right? Slight to moderate rains or thunderstorms. Guys, be more specific. Breaks of sunny intervals anticipated over most areas as the day progresses, thankfully paving way for the thunderstorms with rains over the coast, middle and northern sectors from the afternoon to the evening. This is very general, but when you look at the map they put out, the impact assessment is low risk, medium likelihood, of rain in Accra, in Salt Pond, and in Sekondi, Takrady. So it's going to rain along the coast this morning.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, there will be some rains in Accra. And then in the evenings, the rains will move a bit into the middle belt.
Yeah.
Kalekuda, good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. You know, on the forecast, people are asking why the GMED did not give us heads up early enough for yesterday. But the Interior Minister responded by saying that forecast came around 11 p.m. when most Ghanaians were asleep. So it might have come. It came actually, and it just came at the time that many of us had gone to bed. So I think it's important when people are setting out. It's not a thing we do, but you need to check the weather, so you take the necessary precautions, whether you're going with an umbrella.
Actually, the Ghana Met Agency have reached out, I think it was 2 weeks ago almost, and they have graciously agreed to be sharing weather updates with Channel 1 television. So I think we've already started putting those out. If you can monitor that, and I think on the breakfast show as well, we can be giving these. It's very important. You know, in Ghana, it's always raining and sunny, so we don't know that.
Exactly.
But in certain countries, weather forecasts are very, very crucial because
really
it's the difference between getting to work alive or not getting to work at all. All right. So Samuel Attah, thank you. You did news this morning.
Thank you. Yes,
what was your big story in the news today?
The big story was the president directing finance ministry to give some relief to affected victims.
So we should release the money.
But there was some reported death as well. Condolences to the families.
So Caleb, start with our City Newsroom. What are they
saying? So Ghana National Fire Service rescues 479 people in floods, fires, 5 dead, 1 missing. That's a big one here on citynewsroom.com. Mahama cites climate, drainage, and human activity for Accra flooding. Still on the floods, he orders removal of structures in waterways. Stay indoors, avoid floodwaters. Presidency and Monday's rain among highest in several years. This is still the president speaking. Government's flood response marked by confusion and failure. This is the NPP. And avoid non-essential travel to South Africa. Government urges citizens. GMET issues fresh rain warning as Accra battles flooding, which is what we brought you earlier. Adenta Catholic Church offers shelter to flood victims, and in Ewutu Senya East, 9 reportedly missing after severe flooding. And so these are some of the headline stories. And interestingly, Star Oil is warning that this might not be the best time to buy fuel. So it says avoid refueling unless necessary. And many found that very heartwarming that the operators themselves are warning against him. And
go to Channel 1 News, and what's the angle of the stories there?
Right. So presidency warns residents to stay indoors on flood alert. And Accra floods, let's change our attitude. Mahama urges permanent solution. And he has ordered removal of structures blocking Accra waters. PURC is tracking ECG Gridco efforts to restore power after floods. And NPP blasts government over Accra flood response. The Catholic Church in Adenta, that story is captured here as well. They've opened their doors. I've seen the Methodist Church do same. Very commendable. Floods claim 1 life at Dabraka Odona. And Ghana issues travel advisory over rising anti-foreigner tensions in South Africa. Government intensifies flood response across Accra and Tema.
If you go to my journal online, they are quoting the Interior Minister, who says we are really very sorry. Muntaka apologizes as flood disaster claims 9 lives. So the figure they have, according to their report, Accra flood death toll rises to 9 as rescue teams intensify operations. Meanwhile, Muntaka also says no drainage system could have stopped Accra flood disaster. I mean, the rain level was really serious. I'm told it's 150 millimeters.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of rain. I think
so. That's over 70 we spoke about.
You know, when we spoke to Professor Gordon, he said if we have 70 problems, so this 150 was a lot. President Mahama is also proposing a new city to decongest flood-prone Accra after Monday disaster. He says that's a long-term solution. And then, as you said, deadly flood alert came at 11 p.m. when most Ghanaians were asleep. I think this morning it would be nice to hear from the Interior Minister to summarize exactly what he's been saying for us. And then, meanwhile, MPP, as you said, stop fiddling with anti-flood intervention. MPP slums government. Let's come to you, Samuel.
Okay, so I have 2 papers. The National Inquirer, and they capture some stories related to flooding. And floods reflect failure of sanitation enforcement that is coming in from Quino. And NPA shuts flooded fuel stations. That story will be found on page 3 of the Inquirer. And then National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving set for tomorrow. And Chief of Staff calls for human-centered AI to shape Ghana future educators. And then the Chief of Staff is here saying drug abuse threatens national security. Let me end with the Overseer newspaper front page this morning. And NADMO orders residents to vacate Wager Dam spillway areas immediately. Yes, and my warnings were ignored. That is coming in from Ebonoa, reacting to the deadly floods. And Okai Minta declares bid for NDC National Youth Organizer.
Okay, now there's an interesting article here on the High Street Journal talking about how cyber security is more than cyber attacks, and that yesterday's rain was a business continuity test. So it talks about how the rains disrupted things and how we can use cyber security to forestall same in the future or build more resilient corporate systems in light of that. Other stories here: government calls for flexible work arrangements as heavy rains disrupt commutes, and urban drainage emerging as business risk factor in Accra's commercial landscape. Accra's economic dominance risk becoming a national liability. This is a report warning. And Accra flooding raises questions over workplace resilience and hybrid work adoption. Flooding brings Accra's informal economy to a standstill. So High Street Journal big on the business angle of yesterday's floods.
The graphic online leads with the president, a video of the president on the way forward for the Accra floods. He was photographed in a helicopter overseeing parts of Accra. Methodist Church opens facilities to flood victims as Accra gets flooded. And then Paraguay uses sudden death penalty to knock out Germany. This is from the ongoing World Cup. Now, talking about natural disasters, if you go to the BBC, angry Venezuelans are accusing their government of negligence and apathy as twin earthquakes ravage that country. Meanwhile, at least 1,700 people are known to have been killed in the disaster. Think about it.
1,000
people. We are with 9 people after 150 millimeters of rain for 2 days. An earthquake has struck a country. And do you know what 1,700 means? 1,700 people have, they are known to have died. We don't know those who have not been accounted for. You know, so
and
it's always good to put things in perspective. I mean, on the same earth, so it's not like they are in Jupiter. So, you know, South African leader warns anti-migrant protesters ahead of an official deadline. This is today. It's a big story indeed. Ghana government is urging Ghanaians to avoid travel to South Africa completely. And then if you go to the BBC, that's their lead story. It's basically on Venezuela. So maybe Caleb, start with the flood.
Let me start with the fire service and its rescue efforts. 479 people in floods, fires. So 479 people rescued in floods and fires, while 5 are reported dead, 1 missing. Story by Kaba Atawege on citynewsroom.com. The Ghana National Fire Service has disclosed that its personnel rescued more than 470 people and responded to dozens of emergency incidents over a 3-day period as torrential rains, fires, and structural emergencies wreaked havoc across Accra, Tema, and surrounding communities. Now, according to the service, firefighters and rescue teams remained on high alert from Sunday, June 28 to Tuesday, June 30, responding to multiple fire outbreaks, flood emergencies, rescue operations, and a building collapse. The operations carried out in collaboration with other emergency response agencies resulted in the rescue or safe evacuation of 479 people. However, 5 lives were lost during the period, while 1 person sustained injuries and others remain missing. Story goes on to give you more details about the rescue.
During the show proper, we will read to you the very detailed report the fire service. And I need to commend them. They spoke about Latibi Okoshi, firefighters from industrial area station responded to a domestic fire. Labadi Kojo Sardine from the Trade Fair fire station. Asutari Junction, 4 fire tenders responded to a burning fuel tanker. And on Monday, Chado, last stop, a joint operation involving fire service, marine police, NADMO, rescued 105 people comprising 40 women, 20 men, and 45 children across the Tema region. Firefighters responded to 23 emergencies incidents within a 24-hour period, including 6 fire outbreaks, 8 flood-related incidents, and 7 fallen trees. Rescue teams saved 12 people trapped by floodwaters and assisted more than 50 residents at Temanu town.
Yeah.
A female trader was reported missing after being swept away by floodwaters near Community 1. Tabora number 6, a 4-story building collapsed. Fortunately, all 12 occupants evacuated. Tuesday, June 30, 2:30 a.m. Fire service completed extensive flood rescue operations within the Adabraka-Odona corridor, rescuing over 300 people from the floodwaters. Sadly, 4 persons comprising 3 males and 1 female lost their lives. Firefighters also fully extinguished a major fire at Odona Rubber Market near Nkrumah Circle, where several structures were damaged. So in summary, they evacuated 479 people, confirmed 4 flood-related deaths, confirmed 1 fire-related death, bringing the total deaths to 5 here. 1 person injured, 12 survivors of building collapse, and 1 person reported. This is from the fire service angle. But when you took the Interior Ministry's angle, I think the figures may be more.
They've done a yeoman's job. I must commend the fire service.
Seriously.
Yesterday, I saw a video of one of the fire service officers. The floods were taking him out, carrying him away. His colleagues were trying to assist, and those who were taking the video were laughing and giggling in the background. I thought that was really bad. We shouldn't lose our humanity in times like this.
Let's do the Interior Minister's angle, because if you go to my journal online, they are quoting him and saying that the death toll is 9. So let me just bring that to you. Interior Minister has apologized on behalf of government following a devastating flood that claimed 9 lives and destroyed homes and properties. Being on PM Express, the minister acknowledged the pain caused by the disaster and admitted that government could have done more, but insisted officials had been working through the night as the crisis unfolded. Muntaka disclosed that one of the immediate steps taken was to coordinate with the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation to get emergency messages sent to mobile phone users. The Interior Minister also revealed that discussions had begun at the presidency to improve coordination among ministries ahead of future emergencies.
So NADMO is issuing a directive to residents.
Wija Dam Spillway. And NADMO orders residents to vacate Wija Dam Spillway areas immediately. A story in the Overseer newspaper, page 4. NADMO Wijagbari has issued an urgent appeal to all residents living along the Wija Dam Spillway to move to higher ground immediately as the dam's management opens its spill gates to release excess water. Now, to protect the integrity of the dam, management has opened 3 spill gates, each releasing water at 30 inches and at high intensity. NADMO is warning that communities downstream of the dam are likely to be inundated as a result of the spillage. So
stay with that and give me the GMET fresh rainwater warning.
Give me a minute. I'll bring that short. GMET issues fresh rain warnings as Accra battles flooding. Abigail Arthur writes that the Ghana Meteorological Agency has forecast more rainfall from across Accra and its surrounding areas from Monday evening to Tuesday, raising concerns over further flooding. Now, the forecast came after hours of heavy rainfall triggered widespread flooding in several parts of the capital, inundating roads, displacing residents and disrupting transport and other activities. Now, the Deputy Director General Operations of GMET, Dr. Ignatius Kweku Williams, in an interview on Channel 1 TV said there is a high probability of continued rainfall in the coming hours, with another likely spell of rain expected early Tuesday morning. He urged the public to remain alert and regularly check official updates from the agency as weather conditions remain unstable. Quote, I will use this opportunity to engage people. Please, even if you are on the go, check our social media handles. X is Ghana Meteorological Agency, and you'll find the information. He said the warning comes as several communities in Accra citing.
Let me end with the president. He has described Monday's rainfall in Accra as one of the most severe in recent years. Speaking after an aerial tour of the flood-hit parts of the capital, he said the city was overwhelmed by exceptional rainfall levels that exceeded previous records. Here's a quote: today's rainfall is one of the highest in several years. He said, noting that about 140 millimeters of rain was recorded in Accra in a single day, compared to a peak of 56 millimeters recorded last year. He explained that data from the GMET shows a steady increase in rainfall intensity over the past 3 years, with June totals rising from 85 millimeters in 2024 to 172 millimeters in 2025 and 333 in 2026. According to him, the growing frequency of rainfall means drainage systems have little time to recover between downpours, worsening flooding in the capital. And he also cited human behavior, weather patterns, and including the dumping of waste material in drains and conversion of wetlands into illegal dumping sites and building sites, which he said continue to reduce the city's capacity to manage storm water. He also said that the long-term solution would be to get a new capital. I'll deal with all of those.
Okay,
so two business angles.
Okay, before the business angles, yes, NPA shutting down flooded fuel stations, and the National Petroleum Authority has directed all fuel stations affected by the recent floods across Ghana to immediately suspend operations and remain closed until they have received official safety clearance. I think
and
that's
on that, Star Oil had advised the public not to, as much as possible, do not buy fuel around these times if it is urgent. Do not buy if it's not urgent. Yes, right. And fuel prices to fall sharply from July 1. This is COPEC just tying that in very quickly. COPEC is saying that fuel prices are likely to drop to about 12 Ghana cedis.
You read it this morning
in the newspaper.
All right, let me stay with the president. Channel One News president is endorsing a bottom-up approach to national development. He was speaking yesterday at the launch of the Upper East Regional Development Business Forum and Exhibition, where Channel One is partnering with the 10-year Prosperity Through Enterprise, Agricultural Resilience and Livelihoods Blueprint being unveiled. Now, the president said regional development plans should be designed by the people they are intended to serve rather than imposed on them from Accra. According to him, the Pearl framework represents a new model of development planning because it was conceived through ideas and aspirations of the people of the Upper East region. The president said government believes sustainable development can only be achieved with local communities, where local communities determine their own priorities, while the state provides policy support and investment to help realize them. Very interesting one there.
Let me bring you the cybersecurity angle to our floods, where the Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority is asking businesses some questions to reflect on as the floods continue, right? Every organization should ask itself a few fundamental questions. This is a quote. If our primary office became inaccessible for the next 24 or 48 hours, could we continue serving our customers? If power were unavailable for an extended period, would our critical operations continue? If our primary internet connection failed, do we have alternatives? Goes on to say that cybersecurity says that this is why business continuity should no longer be viewed as solely an IT responsibility. It's a leadership responsibility. Boards, executive management teams, heads of institutions should regularly review whether their continuity plan remains practical, whether backup systems have been tested, whether disaster recovery procedures are current, and whether employees understand their roles during a disruption. More details on the High Street Journal for those who are interested.
Okay, the Chief of Staff has been speaking and he says drug abuse threatens national security. The Inquirer, page 3. The Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, has described drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking as a serious threat to Ghana's national security, public health and socio-economic development, calling for a coordinated national response to evolving challenge with far-reaching consequences.
Meanwhile,
we know that some measures are being put in place.
Meanwhile, people have been arrested in Mankraso. Drug-based firearms have been seized. As you were reading, police in Mankraso district have arrested 4 suspected drug peddlers during an intelligence-led operation at identified locations within the Kunsu township in the Ashanti region. The operation, carried out in the early hours of Friday, June 26, forms part of an ongoing effort by the Ghana police to clamp down on the trafficking or peddling of illicit drugs and other related criminal activities in the area. And in a statement, the police said the Mankraso police has arrested 4 suspected drug peddlers during an intelligence-led operation conducted with Kunsu, and then they give the details of the people and their ages and the exhibits. Items retrieved, including locally manufactured pistols, quantities of suspected tramadol, red capsules, dried leaves, suspected to be Indian hemp, a whitish powdery substance to be believed to be cocaine, an amount of 5,600 cedis.
Well, the government is urging citizens to avoid non-essential travel to South Africa. CityNewsroom.com, William Na writes that Ghana has issued a travel advisory urging its citizens to exercise heightened caution when traveling to South Africa, citing planned nationwide protests, heightened anti-African sentiment, and potential security risk. In a statement dated June 29, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs warned that demonstrations scheduled for June 30 alongside reported calls by some activist groups for an unofficial departure deadline targeting foreign African nationals could heighten tensions and increase the risk of intimidation or violence. So please take caution, the ministry is warning.
Okay, meanwhile, government has deployed 47 nurses to St. Kitts. Story page 5 of the Inquirer. The departing contingent made up of 15 community health nurses and 32 general nurses is the second batch of health professionals to be deployed abroad since the current administration assumed office, reflecting the government's commitment to creating safe, regulated and mutually beneficial employment opportunities for Ghanaian professionals.
Agriculture. PFAC begins distribution of 40,000 bags bags of fertilizer under the Feed Ghana program. Daniel Oduro-Mensah reports on Channel 1 News that the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana has started a nationwide distribution of 40,000 bags of fertilizer allocated by the government under the Feed Ghana program, with the association expressing confidence that the intervention will boost productivity amongst smallholder farmers during the current planting season. Now, this fertilizer was allocated to the association by the Minister, Eric Opoku, to improve access to critical agricultural inputs for organized farmer groups. This will be done through PFAC's regional and district structures. So that's a good one.
Right.
I wanted to touch on something in Venezuela.
Right.
Angry Venezuelans accuse their government of apathy and negligence. And we are told that the twin earthquakes that struck Venezuela on Wednesday last week has killed at least 1,700 people. And some of the citizens are saying that their government has been too slow and too apathetic. The rescue operation started very late and it's been slow. Initially, it was only people who live in the community who came in to help. The police just came to check but didn't help. The government response has been frustrating and impotent. One Kevin Montilla, whose house was destroyed, told the BBC. Right now, guys, if a country is losing 1,700 people in a week to a natural disaster, we should put ours in perspective. The fire service is confirming that 9 lives have been lost.
9 lives.
So the update is 9 from what I'm seeing. But I will talk to them later for more details.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Paraguay, which is not too far from Venezuela, has declared today a national holiday after knocking out Germany.
Minister, are you listening?
Well, we've been beyond the last 32. We've gone to quarterfinals.
So maybe semi-finals.
To be fair, they were also in the quarterfinals in 2010. After a scoreless extra time period, which included a controversial goalless German goal disallowed.
Germany.
Paraguay won 4-3 on penalties.
Nice.
And that tells you that so far we have Brazil qualifying, Paraguay qualifying, Morocco
is there.
beat Netherlands on penalties, and that shouldn't be surprising. Morocco is the 7th ranked team in the world. So, and then we also have the Canadians who have qualified. We have big games today, including Ivory Coast.
Yes. Ivory Coast playing tonight. There was another interesting game. Is it France?
Yes.
France is also playing tonight.
There are 3 games today. Ivory Coast is playing Norway at 5 p.m. And France plays Sweden at 9 p.m. as well. So watch out for those games.
But World Cup 2026, Ghana guaranteed at least $13.5 million after historic progress to round of 32. So I mean, when they progress again, the money will be increasing. So let's watch out for that.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was a newspaper review. Coming up next is the City Business News. Stay with us.
Where did you pass?
Me, pass somewhere. I just switched for a better life. I switched for comfort. Look, your salary deserves better.
Switch?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I switched my salary account to Fidelity Bank, and that's my jackpot. I get higher loan amounts with lower interest rates, as well as personalized financial support. They gave me a loan to expand my side hustle, and the terms are just flexible.
Wow.
Your salary deserves better.
My salary deserves better, Pa. You see the way you are smiling wide? Yes, I will switch and smile wider. Your salary deserves better. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and enjoy lower interest rate, car and home loan, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. Switch and smile wider. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I need your side, Fidelity.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
So Netele Ajaho is here with the City Business News at 7. Good morning, Netele.
Good morning, Bernard, and you're welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News. Is brought to you by MTN, EcoBank, and Good Energy. Coming up, COPEC projects reduction in pump prices for 1st July pricing window, and also the National Petroleum Authority urges motorists to avoid refueling unless necessary amid the floods. And later, Bank of Ghana governor calls for deeper capital markets to sustain Africa's growth. Let's settle for the details now. Petrol, diesel, and liquefied petroleum gas price floors have fallen sharply ahead of the first pricing window of July, paving the way for lower pump prices if OMCs pass on reductions to consumers. This report has more details.
An industry notice seen by Citi Business News shows that the National Petroleum Authority has set the petrol price floor at 12 cedis 79 pesos per litre for the first pricing window of July, down from the 13 cedis 39 pesos per litre in the second pricing window of June. This represents a 60 pesos per litre reduction, or a 4.5%. The diesel price floor has been reduced to 13 cedis 54 pesos per litre from the 15 cedis 11 pesos per litre, representing a 1 cedi 57 pesos per litre decline, which is equivalent to 10.4%. For LPG, the price floor has been cut to 10 cedis 11 pesos per kilogram from the 13 cedis 23 pesos per kilogram, marking a 3 cedis 12 pesos per kilogram reduction, or a 23.6% difference. The price floors represent the minimum prices at which OMCs and LPG marketing companies are permitted to sell petroleum products during the pricing window. The latest reductions come as global crude oil prices retreat to around $70 per barrel, reversing much of the highs recorded during the recent Middle East conflict.
That was a Business Desk report. Meanwhile, consumers can expect some relief of the pumps from tomorrow, 1st July, as the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers projects a decline in the retail prices of petroleum products for the first pricing window of July. This is attributes to falling crude oil prices and continued appreciation of the Ghana City. Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amo, has been speaking to Citi Business News.
If you just oppose this with the fact that the city has also been very well managed as of today by the central bank, you are naturally expecting that the filter through effect would be to see some reduction in pump prices locally. Don't also forget that even the price of crude has gone back to some lower levels as we speak, and so it is likely that the current prices you see for petrol hovering around 13-14 could decline to about 13-12, and then again diesel could also decline to the 13-14 region, whilst LPG would also decline in the coming window, which starts in a day from today. Naturally, commuters are expected to get some relief from the OMCs, and indications we get from all of them is that this decline will be passed on to consumers.
Duncan Amo as Executive Secretary of COPEC. Still on fuel issues, the National Petroleum Authority is urging motorists to avoid refueling unless absolutely necessary, as heavy rains and flooding continue to affect parts of the country. The regulator says the precaution is aimed at protecting consumers from potential risk associated with contaminated petroleum products from flood-affected fuel stations. In a public notice, the NPA warned that floodwaters can infiltrate underground storage facilities and compromise fuel quality, posing dangers to vehicles, public safety and environment. It stressed that the sale of or distribution of contaminated petroleum products constitutes a serious violation of petroleum regulations and will attract severe sanctions. The MP has therefore directed all affected fuel stations to immediately suspend dispensing, loading and offloading activities where floodwaters have entered forecourts, tank areas, fill points, vent pipes or underground facilities. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has directed the Minister of Finance to release funds to support relief efforts for people affected by yesterday's floods in Accra. Thousands of residents across the capital were affected by the downpour, which triggered severe rescue operations. Addressing the media after assessing the flood situation, he urged the public to adopt practices that reduce the risk of flooding.
NADMO will do what it can to try and identify the victims and see how we can just support them in a way in the next few days. I've asked the Minister of Finance to release some money from the contingency fund so that we can do some post-flood relief for persons who have been affected. And so let me again express my sympathy, but let us change our attitude and let us find a permanent solution to this Accra flooding problem. We shouldn't become like the vulture who, anytime it is raining, he says as soon as it stops raining, he will repair his roof. And then as soon as it stops raining, you say, oh, it has stopped raining, so there's no need to repair the roof. This time should be different.
That was President John Dramani Mahama speaking there. Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Asiama, says as African economies increasingly rely on domestic borrowing, the priority must be to develop deeper and more diversified capital markets that support sustainable economic growth without undermining monetary policy transition. Speaking at the Bank for International Settlements Roundtable of Governors for African Central Banks in Basel, Switzerland, he highlighted Ghana's economic recovery from crisis to recovery.
Today, the objective is no longer crisis management in Ghana. It is making sustainability durable through stronger fiscal institutions, continued discipline, and rebuilt policy buffers. External financing has become more expensive in many cases, less predictable, and for some sovereigns, less accessible. Mr. Chairman, my proposition is this. Domestic borrowing is strengthening resilience by reducing external vulnerability, but it is also reducing risk into our own financial systems. The next phase of reform must therefore focus on building domestic debt markets that are deeper, debt markets that are longer dated, and debt markets that are more diversified, so that today's solution does not become tomorrow's vulnerability. But Mr. Chairman, our experience also suggests that domestic borrowing does not eliminate risk at all. It only changes the location of risk.
That was the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Asiama. Now, after days of striking movements in food, fish, fresh produce, and energy and construction inputs across major markets, the Channel One Market Price Barometer now tends to the numbers to the people behind them. While the June data showed easing in some commodities and increases in others, traders say the reality on the ground goes beyond price tags, shaped by weather conditions, transport costs, and supply challenges. Here is more.
The June edition of the Channel One Market Price Barometer pointed to a mixed pricing environment across Accra's market, with some commodities offering relief while others continue to put pressure on household budgets. For traders, one of the clearest explanations is changing supply conditions. Monica, who sells cassava and plantain, says the rains have created different outcomes for different crops.
The prices of cassava have reduced, with as little as 5 cedis now fetching a piece of pound fufu. However, plantain prices have increased due to the rains. Suppliers say flooding is preventing them from accessing the farms.
While cassava prices have eased due to improved availability, tomatoes continue to tell a different story. Florence, a tomato trader, says weather alone cannot explain rising prices.
Although it's raining, tomato prices remain high. A large box is now selling at about 6,500 Ghana cedis. While the rainy season is a natural occurrence, governments could intervene by providing well-laid irrigation systems to help farmers protect their produce.
But for some traders, market prices are not only determined at the farm gate. Alberta Agri, who sells fruits and vegetables, says despite recent reductions in fuel prices, transportation costs remain elevated and continue to feed into final consumer prices.
Sania ka petrol bar for me and say omoma fair neba from no nyane sa amaye.
As fuel prices have been reduced, drivers are expected to also lower transport charges for conveying farm produce. However, suppliers say they are still paying high costs and therefore pass on the burden to consumers. We are appealing to the authorities to engage stakeholders to ensure prices are better reduced for all.
Na driver for no ono omo akasa na nuoma no omo fagu car no mo be ma price na aba from yenso ye kofa yenso ye tumi ama price no aba from.
Beyond food, pressures within the energy basket were also reflected in the market. Aisha, a charcoal trader, says sourcing challenges and cross-border supply dynamics continue to influence prices.
Even now, charcoal is being processed in Burkina Faso before being imported into the country. As a result, a 5 Ghana cedi portion is very small, while a bag is currently selling at about 150 Ghana cedis.
Those were some sentiments from traders about price movements in Accra. Now on the interbank market, the dollar is going for 11 cedis 26 pesos, the pound for 14 cedis 88 pesos, and the euro for 12 cedis 83 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the City Business News. It's brought to you by MTN, EcoBank, and Go Good Energy. Have a good business day. I am Nettie Ajahu.
Stadium. Enough acquire your book TV and computer game. Classroom.
Madam, me patron menti ase.
Yo, yes, I'm fasubio. Me wa na wonti ase no.
Nini na.
Ebetumi adane office.
Orders no ahi ready. Okay. You can fan call East Legon.
Ebetumi po eswa ye fa ko a ye nhwehwemu wo.
Daddy, e dey na big bang theory.
Chain. Mami busa chat GPT.
Ubetumi amofie adani baby a opese eyibia efse emfa ho ni ne opese oye wo fie MTN fiber betumi aboa amwoye na 500 Mbps unlimited internet and ne bo no form a free 299 Ghana cedis echo for MTN fiber bra fie ana waduma mu ede for my MTN app no so ana se bo *5057# what check fiber availability no so ana se number e wo je no na receive fiber broadband our baby out in one. Not to be a
Your attention, please. Flight C8 has been delayed.
Again. Madam, can you please point me to the water fountain? And please watch my back and front whilst I'm gone.
You can be a traveler with infinite worries.
Hello, Mr. Anand. Your lounge access is ready and your seat is warm.
Or you can be a traveler with infinite privileges.
Champagne, sir?
Original the drink.
Choose EcoBank's infinite privileges with an EcoBank Visa Infinite card. Access airport lounges worldwide, fast-track services, best-in-class daily limits, and enjoy other exclusive travel and lifestyle benefits. Infinite privileges await. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Good energy powers the things that people do to empower themselves. It fuels families, communities, businesses. Good energy fuels nations. It gets things going and keeps them moving. Good energy isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Goyle, good energy.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
L to the L to the L to the L. Hey.
Yes! Help me make I know they talk much. I wanna be concise. You want to act on my date. Don't make a be alright.
Nete Ajaho. Oh, I always forget the Ajaho. Mrs. Ajaho. She brought us the breakfast edition of the City Business News. Now the man who made it today. Bernard Crosby is here. He will say about us kick off very shortly. But business news was brought to you by Girl EcoBank and MTN. If you are looking for quality fuel that gives your engine smooth performance, please look no further. Girl Super XP of premium quality gives you correct choice when you buy regular fuel. So as you journey the road, look out for Girl stations and fuel up your vehicle with quality you can trust. Girl, good energy. Do you know how money really moves in Ghana? At EcoBank, we know it doesn't just move on payday, but every day. Connecting you to the people who matter most, EcoBank provides one seamless banking experience across 34 African countries. Our digital platforms instantly connect people, businesses, and opportunities across the continent. Pay bills, transfer funds, manage your finances anytime, anywhere. Just download the EcoBank mobile app, dial *770#. Use alternatively EcoBank online and our nationwide ATMs. EcoBank is a Pan-African bank. Now, sometimes big moments begin with small things. A call to someone you love, a momo to help family, a bundle to grow your business. What if those little moves could lead to something much bigger? Now with the MTN at 30 promo, every call, text, browse, Momo transaction, home fiber connection and activity on the My MTN app earns you points toward amazing rewards. With one of 9 brand new Toyota Land Cruiser Prados, share in over 10 million Ghana cedis in cash prizes or enjoy unforgettable experiences made just for you. Every move counts, so just dial *530#, open My MTN app and join the MTN at 30 promo now. MTN at 30, make every move count. And Bernard Abekrocho is here for kickoff. That's brought to you by Lesheho. Are you ready to power up your finances and unlock your path to financial freedom? The Lesheho fixed deposit solution is tailored just for you. With Leshego's fixed deposit solution, you're making your money work for you. Join the investment revolution with our fixed deposit solution and take charge of your financial future. Call us now 0302-208333 to learn more. Let's share, let's improve life. Now, as a result of yesterday's floods, we didn't even have time to talk about our engagement with Croatia over the weekend and all the permutations folks have been engaged in. We lost to Croatia to avoid playing Portugal, to avoid going to Canada, and on and on and on. But there have been some games along the way. Some have qualified, some have been knocked out. Bernard Abekrocho, man, how are you doing?
I'm a miracle. You great too.
Yeah, Charlie, I'm a miraculous. No, we are surviving the floods and
if you're not a miracle, there's a problem. What's happening?
We asked for you long before the floods. Every day we ask you how are you. You say you're a miracle. What is that?
Afonu.
What is that? So take us to the World Cup. Let's start from Croatia, Ghana over the weekend. Was that a strategy? Was that a game plan? Why we went to Croatia?
Yeah. Look, we have an experienced manager first off. But before we even talk about the Croatia game, this World Cup is painting, stories after stories.
Yes.
And I love history because things that you do not see, things that you live to see also, when it's retold in another fashion, it makes a lot of sense. So the spectacle, when we talk about legends, this game has produced a lot of legends, and it's also at this level of the competition. Now let's talk about journalists for a minute. Now I know my time is not enough, but I'll just try and break it into pieces. You have your share of my shares.
Okay, go ahead.
Great. So there's a legendary Argentine journalist or broadcaster, if you want to put in that show, who's covered this World Cup 18 consecutive times.
Wow.
He started his journey. He's 91 years old. He started his journey.
He's still covering World Cup.
He's still covering the World Cup. He started his journey in 1958, covering that World Cup
in Sweden.
I was not born.
I was not born either.
Maybe Odum was born.
The guy is what generation of talent, you know,
institutional memory and working museum of sports history.
Absolutely. He watched Pele, he watched Maradona, and he watched Messi score 5 goals in just 2 games at this year's World Cup.
Nice.
You know, he's recognized by CONMEBOL, the federation where he comes from, FIFA at large, you know, and still this guy has gone through air flights that went through multiple fuel. You stop here, you refuel, and all of that. He's gone through that. He's gone through black and white TV to color TV, and indeed, you know, gotten through those phases to today's hyper connected digital streaming, and of course AI assisted tools.
You've seen it all.
I'm sure when you know he's watching the game and he's behind a certain machine and the AI is producing stats for him to comment, and he goes like, oh, wow, what's happening?
You've seen dinosaurs, now you've seen
you know, this a giant in the game. He's Henrik Makaya Marquez, so that's his name. So a solid guy, you know, to talk about. But back to the Croatia game, just a little about it, because there's a lot of games that's been played in this year's Mondial, isn't it? We had a run of 32, but before we got to this stage, the group stage was also important. You asked a salient question: Croatia, Ghana. Was that intentional to play in the way we did? You know, I feel in every tournament you need to have a plan. And Carlos Queiroz has experienced that as he is going. This is his 5th World Cup. He's done that with Portugal, with Egypt, with Iran. He's been a Colombian coach as well. And I got to tell you about the Colombian story as if time permits me. I feel he had a plan going into this, and the plan, I feel, on top of the head of the team is to get the team to play
in the US. Okay, but I heard him say that performance was not good after their previous wins. He felt that conceding at that stage was not a good thing. It was unacceptable in his words.
He's a manager, a huge experience, a former Manchester United assistant coach, former Real Madrid manager, and he needs to speak well when it comes to the media.
But their game plan could be something else.
Yeah, the game plan could be something else. Fantastic. So numbers was really not important in this game.
Well, you were qualified and we
qualified. What are we looking
for? Who's our next competition?
Colombia.
In the US.
In the US.
So Thomas gets to play.
Thomas gets to
that's
play.
interesting.
And talk about Colombia. This manager is been a Colombian manager before. During his stint, he had 18 matches. He played with the Colombian national team. Got a 50% win rate. That was between 2019 February to 2020 December. 9 wins, 4 draws, and 5 losses for Carlos Queiroz when he was at the helm at Colombia.
Wow.
And the bigger picture is that Colombia brought in Néstor Lorenzo, the head coach in the helms now, to bring the team after that massive disappointment of not making it through to the 2022 World Cup. So they're also in the face. And this manager was with the junior setup. When he was brought into coaching the team, the legends questioned, because he's not a manager with huge portfolio, but he comes in and seems to stabilize the ship. So he's on the project. So it's what.
Now there have been some surprises at this World Cup. I've seen Germany beaten, and Japan is going home. Take us through some of these surprises. I know we've gotten into the round of 32.
Great. Japan. There's Japan, Brazil, but you spoke of Germany, so let's stay there for a minute.
Sure.
They are 4-time winners of this World Cup, and you can't take anything away from them. Well, they are in a phase. This I think it's not a German machine we used to know, where we had the Thomas Müllers and co who were firing and all of that.
They're also seeing their faces.
They're also in a new phase. So 12 years of absence in the game. The last time they got through to this stage of the competition was in 2010.
Okay.
And then they come into the World Cup and try and come along with Julian and Nagelsmann and try to want to paint a different picture. I feel the steam, they've got stars. There's Musiala, there's Leroy Sané and co in the setup, and there's a legendary Manuel Neuer also in post. But look, the World Cup has a different feeling, it
has evolved
together. It has evolved. So I mean, facing Paraguay ranked 41st coming into the World Cup. Germany ranked 10th. Everyone was thinking that Germany
this was going to be milk toast for Germany.
But I feel they were underdogs because of the phase they were going through.
Okay.
And the bigger picture is Julio and Ciso. You know, talk about World Cup again. He paints a lot of stories. Before we even talk about Julio and Ciso in the other game, there's Steven Estaku, who was also born in Ontario. In the Canadian game, Canada also played the round of 32, and also the host nation going into the next phase of the competition. And he has also a story. Played for Portugal's under 21, and then naturalized for Canada, and also gets to play. But for Germany, in the 55th minutes of the game, they've had 5 crosses into Paraguay's box. I told you that I'm doing a bit of mixture. You have your share of my share. I mentioned it earlier, right? Good. The story for Germany, for me, I feel they would have to go and come back strong in another year, okay, and make history and make it count for their country. Paraguay surprising them. There are people who said that at the group stage we are knocking out the Intebe goods. But
it's not really
this World Cup again is told a different story to say that
you can't really underestimate anyone. Yeah. Let's focus on the African teams now, right? The African nations and how they've been performing so far. Those who are joining us and those who have gone back.
That's South Africa. That's South Africa. And I was really talking about that Canada experience. And I intentionally brought that in because look, South Africa, they're coming into this World Cup on the back of what's happening in their country. The players were thinking about it. At the point they felt the pressure because they felt even the continent that they are coming on
wasn't supporting them as much. And their last game, even though they lost, they played quite well
against Canada. I feel they had an experienced manager who had wanted to do exploits before going into retirement in Hugo Broos. But they played well. But if you come to the party, you need to take your chances. And I feel it is one that didn't really go on well for them. African countries that got to this stage of the competition were 9. Right. So for South Africa to get out of the competition, I feel didn't.
So how many African teams are on now? What games are we seeing today as we wrap up?
So Morocco moved to the next phase of the competition.
Morocco is there.
So there's Morocco. There are lots of games to play actually.
Okay.
So South Africa exits rightly. There is
Tunisia is out.
Is out. So the 2 are out. So 8 now.
Right.
In the next phase of the competition. We'll be seeing Ivory Coast play Norway later today. So there are lots of, and then Ghana we are somewhat in the mix later.
How's Cabo Verde, my people?
I feel they can cause an upset against Argentina. Yesterday after the game, I was talking to Oji said, Charlie, you leave that bit.
Wishing the very best. Better make the floods spared him today. We are grateful.
Innovative financial solution. Even on the province, cause we are number 1. Let's go, improve your life. Let's go, even when you're stuck with nothing, no matter your situation, let's go, improve your life. Improve your life.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
The Money Matters segment is brought to you by Petra. Petra, achieve more.
Welcome to the Money Matters segment with Petra. Contributing to SNIT and Tier 2 doesn't mean retirement will automatically be comfortable. Comfort in retirement usually comes from deliberate planning beyond the basics. Extra savings and investment, additional income streams. The people who retire well often plan ahead intentionally. The free pension health check helps you evaluate the health of your pension. So book a session by visiting our website at www.petraonline.com. Petra, achieve more.
The Money Matters segment was brought to you by Petra. Petra, achieve more. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Everybody is a winner in the Ungalicious Abiwa promo. Over 4 million worth of cash and prizes to be won. Just look out for the special Ungalicious promo packs. Submit 20 Unga powder promo sachets and 20 Unga shrimp tablets promo wrappers at any Unga redemption center near you and receive your scratch card. Scratch to review your unique code. Send to *713*27# and win instantly. Cash prizes up to 200,000 Ghana cedis, deep freezers, smart TVs, kitchen appliances, and more. Promo runs from 15th April to 15th July 2026. Hurry, don't miss it. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Miss Green. Charlie, I just bought this thing. Relax. We get some templates. Oh? What's that? Charlie, Samsung templates causes accidental screen damage. Like yours. One small repair fee and your phone is sorted. Bro, you mind Galaxy S25? S25, A series, Z Flip, Z Fold, all covered. I just registered within 30 days of buying. Did you? I'm doing my classic. Go register now. Make no waste time.
Samsung Care Plus. Protect your Samsung Galaxy phone today. Register within 30 days of purchase. Visit samsung.com/Africa or your nearest Samsung dealer. Terms and conditions apply.
Tired of dealing with messy hair? We've got your solution. Introducing new BO16 Styling Gel. It effortlessly holds and style your hair, leaving no white flakes behind. Choose from our original clear or sleek black gel to suit your style. BO16 Styling Gel. Because your hair deserves the best. Express yourself confidently. Available now at your nearest store. Grab yours and style with ease. The GC brand, it's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
These days, some mattresses are being made from all kinds of unsafe materials that are not fit for sleeping surfaces. These materials may be cheap, but they can be harmful to your health. If you haven't slept well, you cannot work and think well, and you are ultimately putting your health at risk, which can cause you a lifetime discomfort and chronic pain. As responsible citizens, we should invest in safe, durable, and certified mattresses. Latex Foam remains the tried and tested brand we all love for almost 60 years now. They offer you unmatched quality and durability for every Ghanaian home. Talk to them on 0302-231-155 in Accra and 03220-29365 in Kumasi for all your inquiries, or walk into any of their outlets nationwide for your preferred choices. Do not settle for less. Go for quality, but Latex Foam, or else you don't do yourself. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
This football season, for only 100 Ghana cedis per, your mom with 4 pieces of chicken, 2 crispy tenders, large chips, I'm gaming and starting. Grab yours today and enjoy the taste of football season with KFC, proud official meal partner of Ghana football. KFC Ghana is finger licking good.
Girl, did you see my last reel? People thought I used a camera crew. Seriously? Which phone? The Samsung Galaxy A17. It makes content I take cinematic with bright blur-free shots even at night. Does it have AI? I'm tired of switching apps though. That's the best part. Gemini. Circle to Search, Music Search works across all your apps.
Wow! Why are you only now telling me this?
The Samsung Galaxy A17. Slim design, powerful AI, stunning camera. Built for the ones who live boldly. Get your Samsung Galaxy A07 or A17 under 3,000 Ghana cedis at any Samsung authorized dealer.
Hey, but my budget is 1,200.
Don't worry, we have the Samsung Galaxy A06 for you.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
Asampaetia Obanyansa fuso obunuye wonka na asam Tema futu sam kakre wa supreme Yo kofi oman ya woman Omani ya memana Genyi baby ako Wachata ya waren Wonsom wanyini pa Yasa tipa wofyoye Yamo yambera ye Ebe ya ifuyena Omaya umano Omaya memana Atiwaye no ya Nyamichata Yemana renya Wonso wanyinyi pa Sawaya wanabe Yamo yambera ye Ebe ya ifuyena Wonso wanyinyi pa Esate pa ofyoye Yamo yambera ye Ebe ya ifuyena
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Can you bring the wafa? Timpawa west na winya. Yamishira, mama ni paya zefua. Eliano, yapanya mistronya jumana nyami besrayen. Abraya boya, amoya muraye. Ebe ya efu yanara. Ama beye ya efu yanara. Ejano la profo. Asitre beye ya efu yanara. Zemjabwe. Ama beye ya efu yanara. Adije, yamoya muraye.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise. This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
The
job of nation building is too serious to be left to just a few people. It's our responsibility. Of course, there are elites who have to take the lead, but we all have a role to play. 97.3 Citi FM is 7:39. All right, so we're still discussing Accra, Ghana, and different things happening. I would like to touch base, Fred, if you have the interview that Sylvia gave us from Avle. You can check that, what happened there. I'm seeing some interesting videos from Togo and from Cote d'Ivoire, so I suspect they also had some fair bit of flooding, not to equalize but to put it in perspective, right?
Yes, because the storm was really coming from their end, so at the point I was wondering the impact it had on Togo.
All right. All right, so a couple of things to say. Fire Service gave us a very detailed summary of their rescue efforts, but they are not the only organization that did rescue. The military had some rescue work they did. Parts of the Navy also supported, as did the NADMO itself. And so we'll give you an update on that. But yesterday, we saw the president fly over part of the capital, pointing to the Achimota drain. Indeed, during the point of view yesterday, we also showed you a footage of the Abofu drain and the size of the water. When we got to Alaju, we noticed that there was flooding in Alaju. First time in many years, because Alaju had in the past been the epicenter of flooding in Accra, but the drain was expanded many years ago, so you would have thought that the size of the drain would be enough to contain the water, but for some reason Alaju got flooded. So let's find out what the Garrett project has to do about this. This project is one of the major projects put in place to help open spillways and make us more flood resilient. Dr. Ohene Safo has been coordinating this project for a number of years. We've been speaking to him for many years, and he's joining us to give us his reflections on yesterday's 140 millimeters of rain and what Accra endured. Doc, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
I was just sent a document by somebody with my name on it, and I think your name was on it as well. 10 years ago, 2015, World Bank office, after the June 3 disaster, a discussion about how to mitigate flood effects and make Accra more resilient. Would you say that in that 11 years that we've seen, our resilience has improved? You looking at yesterday's situation?
I think the results are mixed in terms of infrastructure. Some progress has been made, but when you look at the whole menu of what constitutes resilience, there's been also some drawbacks, especially if you look at it from the metropolitan level, not just EMA, but the metropolitan, the agglomeration of localities forming the Greater Accra metropolis. I think we have also lost out on a few things, especially upstream, that is affecting the city's ability to respond to such events as what happened yesterday.
Looking at 140 millimeters of rain and the extent of devastation, would you say this is to be expected for even any city? Because 140 is pretty a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's substantial rain. The average rain we got in 2015 was hovering around that as well. But at the same time, your question is, would this similar level of devastation happen in any city? I'm not sure that would be the case. Nonetheless, there might be still some flooding in, of course, even the best of cities. The thing about what we try to do is to be able to work on the risk of flooding. So it's not like you're able to prevent flooding entirely because you don't control the elements that would lead to the rainfall, the volume of rain that you would have. But what you would want is to have systems that are able to handle the volume that comes so that there's minimal
see. The main Odo drain seems to be the center of the effort of the garage project. Although we did see yesterday that it was not the only drain that had its bank overflown. Apparently the Lafa as well, and I think the Peshi. But how critical is the Odo in Accra's flood resilience, and what was the project trying to do to expand that?
Okay. I mean, the Odo in Accra has 9 basins, what we call river basins or drainage basins, which combines both natural streams with lined concrete storm drains and other parts to it. The Odo actually runs centrally. The others are to the east or to the west, but it's actually running to the central spine of the city, and it goes through the most commercial parts of the city. It goes through what we call some of the high-end sections of the city, including its tributaries. The Odo has many tributaries, the high-end sections of the. So whenever there are significant levels of flooding, you would see that where we get adverse impacts, it would affect those commercial areas, so like Circle, like Accra Central, and so on. And so, yes, it becomes a very important drainage basin that needs attention. What the project sought was to do a number of things. One was to look at the engineering issues related to the Odo channel. And 2 was to look at the other contributing factors to flooding. So the engineering aspects, some of the sections were undersized, some had collapsed, we had to repair. So that both side, for example, parts of the drain had collapsed. The one that was built by President Kufuor, sections of it had collapsed, and we had to rebuild, and then also use that opportunity to expand it. So we changed from a trapezoidal shape to a rectangular shape and are deepening certain sections. Then there were other sections where, the tributaries are entering at 90 degrees. So of course, whenever the water levels in the main channel rise, the tributary cannot flow into the Odo, and it leads to backflow into the adjoining communities. So an example would be the Paloma to Circle drain, which is a tributary of Nima to Circle drain, which is a tributary of the Odo, which enters the Odo at 90 degrees. So we have to change that angle, and in the process also the idea is to then expand it as well. If you look at the Accra Academy, they've got the Bubwashi and then the Mataripo drain. They are all parts of the catchment, the tributary catchment, the Kaneshi catchment. So we have to expand. In Kaneshi, we are doubling the volume to be able to take more of the runoffs into the place. Then there's also the blockages that are suffered from either sand, silt, or solid waste. And everybody knows the story about how the indiscriminate disposal of solid waste in the city. Even during the rain itself, people just discard. We've seen so many images, it is not like a new thing to everybody. So the idea was that we will institute a dredging program that would, deal with the backlog of dredging that had not been undertaken prior to the commencement of the garage project, and thereafter institute a maintenance program such that there would be what we call trigger levels. So we'd set levels within the line section particularly, so that whenever the sediment built up to that point, it would be the trigger for the contractor to go back and do maintenance dredging. As for the solid waste, we had a parallel solid waste management program in supporting the assemblies with equipment, in also galvanizing the formation of cooperatives amongst the informal sector, and then also in boosting the ability of the, there are normal volunteers. You have the pastor boys and all of these things. Find a way to rally them so that you can better coordinate the solid waste collection improvements. Besides then other infrastructure linked to solid waste management. So this entails also we had some selected community upgrading projects where those communities lack some basic infrastructure
some people would say that the project did not do what it was supposed to do. If you look at what happened in Alajo, which is downstream of this channel that you just described. I mean, yesterday Alajo got flooded in a way that I hadn't seen in a long time. Was it just the silt and the human activity, or could we have expanded the drains further downstream as well to expand their capacity to contain the water?
Yeah, I mean, in the design of the project, we considered all of that. At its widest width, there's about 35 to 40 meters at this widest width. At some point, we are considering whether to expand to, say, 60 meters, 75 meters wide to take in more volume. But if you look at the odor from even the upstream, the source point, which is at the foothills of the Abri, all the way downstream to the Kole, you will see that there's quite a lot of human settlements that are very close to the channel. And so to be able to do that kind of expansion, it would require having to demolish such structures. And within the regime of the World Bank finance activities, you have to then compensate such properties that you touched, regardless of their status, their legal status. That is the regime that we operate under World Bank finance projects. And so the social cost for doing that kind of expansion was going to be very, very, in fact, when we worked the numbers, it was going to be so significant that it would even dwarf the investments required to do the actual infrastructure. So we had to then work within the parameters of what the state could afford, which is how much can you put into actual infrastructure without having to spend so much on resettlement. But at the same time, it is expected that the assemblies also would play their role in terms of development control to keep, people from coming too close to the water bodies. There's a policy, the riparian buffer policy, which stipulates the extent to which we must give clearance away from the, such that even in the event of a huge rainfall, as we may have experienced yesterday, or even in 2015, even where it would overtop, there'll still be enough space on the sides where it can still be accommodated without adversely impacting communities and neighborhoods. But because people are built so close, the other thing I need to mention then on this point is that the sediments, we should not take for granted the level of sedimentation that we're experiencing. We have been having intensifying sedimentation. Why is that the case? When we say sediment, I mean infilling of the sand and silt. We are having that because more and more developments are happening upstream. So from the Brim hillsides, a lot of sand and silt is being washed into the water bodies. You would see that from the source all the way up to about Caprise, there's adequate gradient for the sand to wash along with the water as it is moving in the channel. However, from the point of Caprise all the way to the Kole, the gradient is very shallow. So that self-cleansing capacity is reduced. I mean, if there's enough water in it and it's running, because the gradient is quite shallow, the sand or the sediments will settle faster. And so it consolidates a lot more quicker than you would expect if it were coming by a different kind of gradient. So the rate at which sand then settles and builds up from Caprise all the way to the Kole is quite high, which then becomes an issue for the contractor working, because where he is dredged, and ordinarily would expect that it would take, let's say, 4 months, 6 months before it builds up to the level where he has to enter. Now his return is required much, much quicker than before. So, and then, of course, let's not also wish away the solid waste. Sorry. The level of solid waste that we are finding, I mean, it is amazing. The policing of solid waste management needs to be tightened. I'll give you an example. We, from time to time, give funds to the local authorities to do dredging deserting. Besides the main authority deserting, the tributaries, secondary drains, and then some tertiary drains, the street side drains, where there are local hotspots. The assemblies are given some funds to do that ahead of the rainy season. Kolekrote did one at a certain time. Kolekrote did one at a within an hour of the rain, if you went to go collect collective assembly cleared the waste, it would appear as if they had done virtually nothing. This is a place where they had put in funds for 3 days clearing all the solid waste and stuff in that section, because the waste that was coming from the adjoining assemblies, it was horrendous. I mean, plastic bottles, all kinds of things. You find all kinds of things entering into the channel. People have just decided that the drains are the attachments. And that's an attitudinal issue that requires stricter oversight by the local authorities as well as all other powers that we could be able to assemble to do this.
All right.
So that would be my response to you.
Finally, there's a text that was just forwarded to me during this interview that no amount of drainage or demolition will stop the flooding in Accra. The only solution is to build mini dams to hold the water upstream, and after the rains released the following few days. What do you make of this?
But I thank you for the question, and I need to use this question to disabuse the minds of the public about the solution. It tends to be the situation that people expect one particular intervention should address flooding. Flooding is a multifaceted problem, requires a multifaceted response. We cannot use one silver bullet. So yes, we need to do detention ponds. But whoever texted should know that there are places where they have detention ponds and it still floods. We also have to do development control. So yes, we need to do some of these. We need to keep clear development from certain areas. And so perhaps there should be more emphasis put on prevention than doing the demolition. But if it has occurred, we cannot say that because demolition has minimal effect after the fact, so we should not do it. No, we should still put in the effort to keep clear. In other jurisdictions, they have so called making room for the river. So these storm drains are part of river systems, and therefore you need to give them the room. Insofar as they are flowing, you need to make sure that you have adequate room for them to flow. We have video footages that would show the extent to which people are actually not just reducing the size of the streams, but actually blocking it entirely and building over it. What we will do is that there's a meeting that's been called this morning. We will respond after that. I'm sure that the Anti-Flood Task Force will lead in communicating the state of affairs of the city to the general public to see that what we're experiencing is the combination of the ill-advised actions of majority of the people. And so all of us need to take a look at ourselves in the mirror to see the extent to which we have contributed. Number two, institutions must have the ability to be able to enforce the regulations. We should get away from this, patronage system where one person gets into a problem and then he's calling on an uncle who is in the second office, he's calling some influential person to intervene, and therefore undermining the law. We need to get away from that. If we want to save ourselves from this trouble, the rate at which we are developing, 146, 150 millimeters is a lot of rain, but not significant. If the rains that fall in Sierra Leone and Liberia and other places where it's more significant, if there's fall in Accra, the city would be in trouble, would be in big trouble. What we saw yesterday would not even compare to what can possibly happen. And we don't control the elements. So please, let's advise each and every person to look into themselves to see in what ways our own homes, where we dispose our waste, the location of the sites that we are building. All of this is contributing to the state of affairs. And I think the GAI project, the Ministry of Works and Housing, the Hydrological Authority are doing the best that they can, but people must also do their own civic responsibilities as well.
Thank you, Dr. Ohene Safo. He is the coordinator of the GARID project. What is GARID?
Greater Accra Resilience and Integrated Development Project. Yeah,
wonderful.
GARID.
So they are supposed to work on the engineering and education aspect of this flood resilience. The enforcement is left to the central government and the local government.
Yeah.
All right. Time is 8 o'clock. We'll be bringing you tech and social media trends, and then we will continue the conversation. Dr. Hinisafo is with the Gary project. They were to implement a project to make Accra more flood resilient. 140 millimeters of rain is a lot, but he says it could have been worse. There's more rain in other parts of West Africa. And that if we had those levels of rain, things may have been really, really bad. The flooding was extensive from Aplao in southern Volta, Keta, Sogakope, all through to this morning, Ada Kase. Somebody sent me a video of massive flooding in the Ada area, coming all through to the Dowenya side, and then to Tema Motorway, Tema Mahian, and then of course what do you call it, Boteman, yes. And then parts of Chadu, seriously flooded. We'll spend a minute on Chadu shortly. But let's bring you tech and social media trends this morning.
It's brought to us by Telecel.
Hey, bro.
No, it's a flood of issues.
So I guess because we have a different host, the main host is in the US. So we have so what are the main trends this morning?
Yes, main trends this morning. Obviously, number one is Accra, and Accra for a particular reason. That is the flooding that was witnessed yesterday in the country, especially the capital, Accra. Reported that some parts of the country, Volta region, Central region, were flooded as well, but the focus on social media has been Accra, and some videos were making trends on social media. Number one, Chado, because of the situation, some huge vehicles are being carried away by the flood waters, and they found their cars. Reports are that some of them found their cars meters away from the house, which ordinarily wouldn't have happened. And then again, Odona fire, in the course of the flooding situation, there was a fire outbreak as well. And the conversation really was that the Ghana National Fire Service were finding it difficult, to access that particular route. So on social media, people are having conversations around how some countries have been able to repurpose their helicopters to do firefighting. Countries like just here, South Africa, they are part of the trend. I'll mention them again. They have repurposed some helicopters for that firefighting. Another video on social media, while all of this, was happening, people trying to find solutions, some persons were also taking gadgets and items from flood waters. Apparently, there was a warehouse that got flooded, and the flood waters carried some of the items along the stretch of the flood waters, and you could see in the videos some people taking items from it. An underground musician, people were questioning, so you an underground musician, you are doing this, how will you blow? That was also some of the conversation on social media. Then again,
so this on the Spintex area,
this on the community 18, Tema community 18, and then we had an aerial shot of the Alajo drain, and you could see the plastics and solid waste. It was so massive. So people are also questioning how we as citizens also play a role in all of this and not leaving it to the government alone. Then again, President of the Republic of Ghana, of course, he cannot sit idle looking at this situation. So he was in a helicopter assessing the situation over Accra, and after that he had a press conference where he stated and gave a directive to the finance minister to, as soon as possible, offer some financial relief to the flood victims. We also told that some persons have, lost their lives. According to update we've given them, condolences to the families of those official figures in that. So number one on the trends, Accra flooding, that is that. Number two, Bafana is trending. First, for two reasons. First of all, for being out of the World Cup, which was a bit earlier, and then today is the deadline. Remember, they gave a deadline that people of other African countries should leave. They should go back. I mean, that popular phrase, go back, that is where it all started. Today is the day. We are looking at what's going to happen, but I must state that Ghana's foreign missions have given directives to citizens to be wary of the situation, and also the ambassador avoid that. The Ghana's High Commission to South Africa stated that they are looking at evacuating additional 900 people to the country.
Wonderful.
Then Paraguay, let me bring you a World Cup game. Paraguay really much talked about on social media of how Paraguay has dumped Germany out of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. That should tell you how the small, alleged, we used to say small teams are kicking out the big teams. And so people are looking forward to Ghana's game this comes Saturday.
Interesting stuff.
Yes, interesting stuff over there. Let me bring you tech news.
Okay.
And in tech news for today, we know that over the past years, for you to be able to text someone, if I meet you and I need to text you on WhatsApp, I'll have to access your contact, get your contact details, and then text you from there. But WhatsApp is introducing a new feature, and the new feature is going to be just like how we have on social media, other social media platforms, X and Facebook, where you just use the username to get in touch with the person. So you wouldn't require a contact to be able to text someone.
And a contact number.
All you need is to ask for their social media username, and then you'll be able to text them on WhatsApp. According to WhatsApp, they say they want to protect the privacy of individuals using their. But some of others have also raised concern that what privacy really, because already if you have our contact in your database, you are using it for your advertisements and all of that. So it's not really.
They are looking for ways for you to talk more, so they can make more.
So that has also generated lots of conversations on social media. So these are basically the trends for today.
Thank you, Samuel Attah-Mensah.
There are many reasons to connect, and it's all to put smiles on the faces of those you love.
Daddy, thanks for the tea cash, okay? I love you.
That's my daughter Angela. Caring for my parents, that's my duty. I also get to pay my utility bills easily with Telecel Cash. And to the suppliers at my shop,
hello sir, Telecel Cash payment received right on time. Thank you.
I get to make them smile because I can pay to my suppliers' merchant numbers, even on other networks directly. My dear ones, we keep the connection stronger when our family, friends, and business relations are happy. Live on cash, enjoy convenience, and make those who matter smile when you send them money with Telecel Cash. Telecel, connecting energies.
You can't tell what your baby will become or what his interest will be. You can provide your growing babies with yummy goodness. Yumvita is a delicious cereal for your baby. Oh yeah, other ones love it too. Yumvita is filled with yummy goodness for growing babies and is available in other yummy variants. Yumvita, a delicious way to grow. This advert is FDA approved.
With the recent increase in electricity tariffs and fuel prices, power, although unreliable, has become expensive, and owning a noisy generator becomes a headache rather than luxury. For an affordable and durable electricity solution, you need to go solar with Translight. Feel the independence, experience the comfort, and be productive. Translight Solar. Wherever there is sunlight, there is Translight. Think solar. Think Translight. Locate us at 98 Boundary Road, East Legon, in between ARS and the American House at the White House bus stop. Visit our website at translightsolar.com. Call us on 0504-249-229 or 0206-542-454 or reach us through email info@translightsolar.com.
It's the season of goals, the tense moments, the thrilling moments, the unforgettable winning moments, and now your winning moment could be next. Buy a Samsung Galaxy device from now till July 3rd from any authorized dealer and stand a chance to win Samsung TVs every week. From Galaxy phones, tablets, and watches to refrigerators, microwaves, and even an 85-inch Samsung TV to upgrade your matchday experience at home. Visit samsung.txtghana.com after purchase and enter your details to enter the weekly draw, and you could be one of our lucky winners. This promo is regulated by the NOA on the Caritas Lottery Platform. Terms and conditions apply.
Remember shit that your mama made for home church, all of her watch it. Back to school with Kenke. It's here, come chop today. Did this shit don't make taste? 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 Onion, ginger, garlic blend, flavor there. Pepper, shrimp, and fish inside. If you're the no preservative, just herbs and spice. That's how we taste. Spicy we eat. Did this shit don't make taste? Corner, chew it taste. Not your choice to make. Spicy taste like mama made. Did this shit don't make taste? Did this shit don't make taste? Did this shit don't make taste? Did this shit don't make taste?
The contract is here.
But my pocket, flat like a football with no air.
Don't stress. That is why DCI Microfinance is here for you.
DCI? What magic can they do?
No magic, just real solutions. With your contract and LPO financing, you can deliver on time. And when you're waiting on payments, their invoice and certificate discounting puts cash in your hands quickly. Their loans are fast, simple, and reliable.
So no more borrowing from my father-in-law? Now, that's a blessing.
Exactly. Call them now on 0577 66 9346. DCI Microfinance, miles beyond the extra.
Say donut, 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 donut. Hey, donut, 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 donut. Donut, donut. Then come cut some donut. Donut, donut. Malaria super donut. Everybody follow nuts, malaria. Until you nuts now, we're gonna throw malaria too. What will it do? I want to. Donut, donut. Tobacco, donut, donut. And that means no, donut. And that means no, donut. Scatter malaria. Lonat, it is scatter malaria.
A quality product from Blaze GVS Pharma. Yenshishemu se malaria wa umujam ansana wanum lona. Na nami yensechi na malaria no daso wa kuhu dokota.
This advert is FDA approved.
Keep out of reach of children and report all side effects of this medicine to your healthcare provider or to the FDA using the Med Safety app.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
12 minutes past 8 on the City Breakfast Show. Are you a manager or a professional planning on moving your career to a strategic and policy making level? If this is the case, you need to start thinking from a strategic perspective. For you to influence the policy of an organization, shape vision, and contribute to the executive level, you need a strategic mind. So welcome to the Institute of Leadership and Strategy and to our executive development programs. Sign up for our executive programs in leadership and organizational development or the certified strategy professional. Our facilitators are captains of industry and key leadership and strategy experts who will elevate and increase your value in the managerial marketplace. We have in-person sessions and virtual options available. We are at the Executive Training Center, East Legon, Accra. Call 0244-268-672 or go to islexecutive.com. Institute of Leadership and Strategy, the Leadership and Strategy Powerhouse. GIPCON is happening on the 16th and 17th of July and at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, and it's on the theme Building a Resilient Downstream Policy, Innovation and Investment for Growth. President Mahama will be the guest of honor with the Minister for Energy, John Jinapo, as well as key industry captains. Climaxing this event will be the awards and gala night on the 18th at Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel. Register for GIPCON at gipcon.com, GHIPCON.com, or reach us on 055-822-3678. Pambros Salt Industries has been in existence since 1958, and we are introducing our latest product, the Pambros Refined Iodized Salt, now available in 250 grams and 500 gram sachets. Just a pinch of Pambros salt brings out the taste of food. Call 0266823589. Pambros Iodized Salt, Kitwa Bi Pe Ti Adiemu. Advert is FDA approved.
Kitwa Bi Peti Adiemu. Chese etim kwenu mu mane yede.
Correct for 10 points.
Yeah, man.
Do you know that SNIT pensioners can now engage a qualified healthcare professional from the comfort of their homes? Well, SNIT, in partnership with the Trust Hospital and National Health Insurance Authority, have introduced the SNIT telehealth service to help or provide convenient access to healthcare professionals, or to healthcare for pensioners rather. With this service, pensioners can consult a doctor or healthcare professional remotely for medical advice, routine health concern and follow-up care. To access this service, simply dial the toll-free number 0800-877-555. Speak to a qualified healthcare professional today. SNIT telehealth service, quality healthcare at your convenience. Shine your eye when you receive urgent mails or messages about your bank account. Fraudsters can create fake websites that look exactly like your bank's. They may send you a link asking you to verify your details or risk losing access to your account. Some fake links may appear genuine or at first glance but contain slight differences, such as extra letters, missing numbers, or numbers replacing words. Never click suspicious links. Instead, visit your bank's official website for more information. Shine your eye, spot the fraud, stop the fraud. This advert is brought to you by the Ghana Association of Banks.
And planning for the future begins with the decisions you make today. Save and invest early with EDC to build wealth and retire comfortably. One clear sign of financial growth is when your money starts working for you through steady returns and long-term wealth creation. With EDC, you get professional fund management, flexible investment options, potential for higher returns, and financial security for retirement and future goals. Your financial independence is possible with EDC. Sign up today. Call 0302-610-400 or WhatsApp 0509-268-414. Everyone is a winner in the Ongalicious Abingwaha promo. There's over 4 million Ghana cedis cash and prizes up for grabs. Just look out for the special Onga promo packs. Submit 20 of the powder promo sachet and 20 of the shrimp tablet promo wrappers at any of our redemption centers. You receive a scratch card. Scratch it. Unique code will be reviewed to you. *713*27#. Send it to that number and you will win instantly. Cash prizes are up to 200,000 Ghana cedis. Deep freezers, smart TVs, kitchen appliances, and more up for grabs. This ends on the 15th of July. Terms and conditions apply. Legacy, life doesn't stand still for you. It doesn't wait for you to be prepared. It just moves. The best you can do for yourself is to prepare for life. Instead, a flexible policy like Old Mutual Legacy Transition Plan will help you build a legacy that offers you a cover of up to 300,000 Ghana cedis with no underwriting, greater flexibility, with no limits to the lives you can cover. Up to age 80 and an uninterrupted cover, no lapse, enabling you to secure what matters most to you in the simplest of ways. Dial *378*3# to request for a call for Old Mutual Legacy Transition Plan today. Let's get you a plan that works for you and your family. Old Mutual, do great things every day. The Lexus University College is inviting you for a world-class education, market-driven professional qualification. We are located at Tema Community 25 Peace B. We run courses in the undergraduate, BSc Nursing, BSc Cybersecurity, Digital Forensics, and several others. Find the others out at thelexusuniversity.edu.gh. There, you can also apply. Admission is underway, so look sharp. And WhatsApp 0577-734-549 if you need any further assistance. The biggest football tournament on earth is here. KidBet brings you the ultimate World Cup 10K challenge. Win your share of a massive $10,000 US prize pool in the KidBet World Cup challenge by placing winning multi-bets and climbing to the top of the leaderboard. Add 3 or more selections to your World Cup betting slip. Check your position in real time on the KidBet platform, kidbet.com.gh. KidBet Bet Boss Challenge. Predict the world, win the glory.
Later this morning, we're bringing you a Tech Monday, which was supposed to have aired yesterday, but because of yesterday's special coverage of the flooding, we've moved it to today. So at 9:15, you'll be hearing from panelists Dr. Ida Opoku-Mensah, E-Learning Africa Ghana, Dr. Baba Glover, and Professor Clement Gidonu, president of the AIT, and of course Miss Cindy Akunyameke, as well as the Minister for Education Haruna Idrisu, as they speak on the subject Africa's Terms, Learning for Sovereignty, Strength and Solidarity. EdTech Monday is a platform for EdTech entrepreneurs, education stakeholders, and government reps to facilitate official conversation critical conversation on the use of tech for teaching and learning. The show is brought to you the last Monday of every month by the MasterCard Foundation, MEST, and Citi Breakfast Show. All right, so we heard from Dr. Ohini Safo, who said the Garrett project was to have done something. It tried. I think the key point he makes, 140 millimeters is a lot of rain, but there are parts of West Africa with more rains. So if we had the level of rain they had, what would we have said? And we have to solve our own problems. All right. I'm told that parts of Togo and Ivory Coast have also had some serious levels of flooding because of the rain. We haven't seen the official videos yet. But I think you want to do
I
something
want to
else.
share, and this is sort of on the back of the interview with Garrett. So here's a post from Kofi Asare of Education Watch, who says that in the last 15 years, major World Bank financing, largely loans to Ghana, meant to improve Greater Accra's flood resilience, sanitation, and related urban systems, totals approximately $655 million. The first is 2013, the Greater Accra Metropolitan Area Gamma Sanitation and Water Project, that which we received $150 million. Number 2 is 2019 Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project. That's Garrett.
The one we just spoke about.
We spoke about $200 million. Number 3 was in 2020, Gamma Sanitation and Water Project additional financing, $125 million. And 2023, Garrett additional financing, $150 million. And 2024, Gamma Sanitation and Water Project, a second additional financing of $30 million. And so sort of, and I agree with the point that he's making. Perhaps let me finish reading his comment, his tweet on Twitter. He says, maybe this is the right time to evaluate these huge projects. Quote, a lion counts the hunt by meat on the ground, not by the roar in the forest.
Latte proverb.
Exactly. And it's not necessarily to apportion blame or start pointing fingers, but it will be interesting to look at, especially on the back of yesterday, to look at where the returns are, what all of these funding have gone into, and why we are still where we are, despite all of the funding, the monies that we've put into the resilience of the region. And the second thing for me is about our conversation about plastics. Okay. All the flood waters, I didn't see in any video in anywhere flood waters that didn't have on the surface carrying huge, tons of plastics. The EPA says that we generate about 1.1 million tons of plastics, only 5% of which are recycled. What happens to the remainder? We know that sanitation is a big problem, and the refuse collectors are indicating that where they dump the refuse is getting full. It's full. Okay. So for me, as we have a conversation or as we plan for how we're going to deal with the sanitation, it's more of trying to look at the problem from the root cause. How much what do you call it, plastics are we importing? How much are we producing here locally? And what will the EPA do? Because the EPA talked about an outright ban on styrofoam, which is the takeaway. But if you go to any restaurants right now, any food canteen, they will put, in fact, I bought something, I won't mention where, but they put the food in the styrofoam. By the time it was delivered to me, the food was in the styrofoam. So I saw it and I said, I thought that there was an outright ban of the styrofoam, but it's still in the system. They talked about a phased ban on the single-use plastics. But we know that there's resistance. Implementation is poor, and the companies whose business it is, and this is not, trying to create any challenges for the companies, but we need to now rethink the kind of business we are going to permit. If we're going to increase the excise taxes on the companies that produce or import, we need to look at that. My understanding is that 5% is on producing, 5% excise taxes on the production of plastics. Maybe to make it a disincentive, because we are having to deal, this is not to crumble anybody's business, but because we are having to deal with a congestion of our drains, etc., and improper disposal of plastic waste, we need to consider maybe increasing the taxes on some of these businesses.
Yesterday, Chado was one of the hardest hit places, and the videos were quite shocking to see multi-million-dollar apartment buildings with brown water rising up, cars floating. And you've seen these billboards about Chado being the new location in Accra. It's neat, it's nifty, it's sexy, and all of this. A number of people have sent me a Ghanaian Times newspaper extract And this is sometime 2020.
That's
and
correct.
I think it's a telltale sign of official collusion to create a community that will not be flood resistant.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a public notice application for change of use of site from mangrove or protected coastal waterfront zone to a mixed use.
Sure.
Name of the area, Chado, which is Istla. Description of site. The site is approximately 3 to 22 acres and situated behind the Ghana International Trade Fair along the Lagoon bypass and close to the Kweshin Lagoon in the Ladadekotopo Municipal Assembly. Issue. The applicant is seeking a change of the use of the site from a mangrove, which is a protected coastal or waterfront zone, to a mixed use to pave way for the construction of an 18-unit residential estate and a recreation center.
Very well.
And this is the concerns or the issues. Any concerns regarding this application should be addressed to Physical Planning Department, the Kotopo Municipal Assembly,
And
PO
this
Box
is
395.
dated August 7, 2020. Friday, August 7, 2020.
Yes, so the challenge is we are not even sure if this was publicized for people to make any complaints.
But it looks like it was in
It
the
was hidden in Ghanaian Times.
Yeah.
What date is this? August 2020.
Yeah.
And clearly, this was not the only building that came up. So this, in fact, by 2020, that area was already developed. But it looks like there was a specific part of the mangrove, which is the sponge of the earth, which was then developed into an 18-unit residential estate, and others have followed.
In addition to the plastics, which Kakra eloquently talks about, is the built space. And you see, I go all offensive on this particular one because we've done enough work. Just now, I've been tagged in a video on a Facebook page that says The Tema Story. That's the name of the Facebook page. And it has a video of the current state of the Sentio oil refinery in Tema near Valco. Right? Now, if you go to citynewsroom.com, right? This is, what's the date? April 22, 2021. There's a story there. It was an investigative piece I had done. Sentio Oil defies EPA's directive, construction of refinery on wetland ongoing. If that enclave is flooding today or is flooded today, it's not a surprise to some of us because there was an EPA directive. There was a copious report that we had, and we went to the field. We found reports. We raised alarm. We discussed that particular construction on this show 4 years ago.
The story was when?
This was 2021. So that was 5 years ago. So if 5 years on, the Tema enclave is flooding in the manner we are seeing, it's no one should be surprised because they diverted the Chemu Lagoon completely. Already, some of the residents within the Tamamania area had filled the water body with refuse, laterite, and they were building on it. That problem is there, and the drains are choked, so the path for the water towards the sea is already blocked. So that part is not surprising. If you leave that end and then you go to the wetland we have around the Densu, we have also seen the encroachment of both private citizens and then huge companies. Not only have they blocked the drains, they have built in the wetland which would have collected the water. So that is also not surprising. And by this, I'm referring to the cement factory that has been comfortably built by the roadside in the wetland. So we shouldn't be surprised if all the wager coming to McCarthy is blocked after 140 millimeters of rain. If you go up to the Bree Hills, I have been there a number of times, and there are enough stories on our website where we have covered how the clearing of the greenery on the hills is going to impact flooding. Around the time, there were reports, and we were told people who had built in road reserves, people who had built on waterways, people who had blocked drainages, all of that has been done. And Dr. Ohene Safo, earlier in the year, we met someone and he was saying that if we need to clear structures on our water bodies, not less than 5,000 structures have got to go down.
Wow.
Yes.
That makes it almost impossible, right?
Exactly.
So you've pointed to Chemu, you've pointed to Peshi,
yes,
you've pointed to the
Bree Hills,
and even the Pambros area. So this is widespread. Let me go on the line and speak to Pastor Chris Gordon. I had wanted to do an update on the rescue operation and in terms of how many people have been saved and that. So if you find fire service, let me know as well. Prof, I think, good morning. We spoke last 2 weeks on television, and then that time we were discussing the rain. I think it was 7 millimeters of rain or so 2 Wednesdays ago, which led to flooding in many parts of Accra. And you were saying that if the rains were a lot more, things would be bad. It seems like you got your wish, because the rain yesterday, we are told, was 140 millimeters. But even for 140, how do you assess the extent of flooding in relation to the amount of water that came? Hello, Prof.
Good morning to your panel and to our very cherished Ghanaians. A point of correction. I said that we had 7 millimeters of rain, and in the past we had around 70 millimeters. And it was you who asked, what would 70 millimeters look like? So it's not me, it is you. Please, let's have that down. You can listen to your report. Even you got double.
No, I asked the question, but you give the answer.
Anyway, all jokes aside, your panel have made some very important points. One, in the original EPA Act, 490, mangroves are the only habitat that is mentioned that you automatically need an environmental impact assessment before you can touch a mangrove. It's ignored. We have this whole encroachment in the wetlands and so forth ignored. The fact is that actions have consequences. And unfortunately, the people who are bearing the brunt of the consequence are not those who have done the actions. So we are in a situation where anything goes, everything goes, impunity left and right. Now, to the question of my assessment of the situation, we are very lucky because there's another climatic event coming from, I think it was the Gabon area heading towards us, but it petered out. It didn't reach us, because if it had reached us, we would have had another set of very heavy rains immediately following the ones we experienced over Sunday and Monday, which would have made the situation even worse. So for me, the situation is dire. The consequences are cascading. People have lost their livelihoods, their belongings. They are having, they are going to have health issues. And there's a whole mental burden that goes with losing all your life's savings, what you've built up, and it's just gone in a flash.
Some people are saying the long-term solution is to build a new capital city. And that, I mean, Dr. Inisafo, for example, was telling Caleb that if we really have to remove structures from waterways and places they're not supposed to be, that would be over 5,000 structures. And these are not just houses, these are companies, factories, and all kinds of things. So if you are going to have to think of that, should we be thinking of a long-term new capital where we don't repeat the old habits?
You know, Bernard, there was a time I was on one of your programs and I said, we were talking about Galamsey. And I said that Galamsey is a mental problem. It's a state of mind. And people are saying that I'm insulting Ghanaians for being madmen. Accra is not unique in the number of people. In fact, in world cities, Accra will not even feature in the top 20. We're only about 5 million. Tokyo is over 20 million, or is it 30 million? They manage. And it's because they operate in a certain disciplined way. Yes, I agree that we have over-concentrated so many things in the central business district, where now with new technology, we don't need to have everything in the same place. I mean, why does everybody have to rush to Accra to buy things for Christmas? There's so many other places that we can go to. So I would say they can do a strategic movement as they did in, I think it was Indonesia, where they moved government offices outside the capital, that is Jakarta, because Jakarta is actually sinking. So they moved government business to a new place which was beautifully planned and so forth. If you want to leave Accra as a commercial capital, fine. But we don't need to put all the institutions in Accra. And of course, when the Indonesians did this for, I think it's called Yokota, I've forgotten the name of it. They built up hospitals, schools, parks. They made the place so beautiful that if you are a government worker, you even want to go there for quality of life. Tanzania have done the same thing. They have, is it Dominga or Bamingo? I've forgotten the name again.
Is it Dodoma?
Yeah, Dodoma. Yeah, that's right. So they moved it and they made sure that the transport route between Dar es Salaam and Dodoma is so good that people can operate well. So it's all planning. It's all planning. But if we keep on putting high rises and the people with the high rises, you know, they don't have parking space. So what do they use? Underground parking. Those underground parks are now swimming pools.
I mean,
so you parked your Maybach or your G-Wag wagon there. It's underwater.
Yeah, I mean, Chado was a classic example of this. I saw an extract in the Ghanaian Times that somebody posted to me that in 2020, somebody was asking for a permit from the Ladadekoton Development Assembly to convert the mangrove into a real estate mixed-use facility. And you see billboards saying Chado is the place to be and the rest of it. And yesterday, I mean, the fire service say they rescued over 70 or so people from floodwaters. And we saw expensive multi-million-dollar apartments with cars floating. I mean, yes. For a place like Chado, is it unsalvageable? Because this is a new place and the roads look so nice. But what we saw yesterday was almost unprecedented.
Well, Bernard, a very high officer in one of the banks sent me a video that she took from her second story of her yard in an area. I won't mention the area, but the whole street was flooded. Her cars were floating in the parking space. Her kitchen was flooded. Everything, her TV, they have to put on the dining table. All sorts of things. And this house is at least $5 million or so US dollars. So would you not be safer living in thatched hut in a place that doesn't get flooded?
So I think that
and of course, Bernard, sorry, let me land. All those houses that we are talking about have been concretized. They've tiled the whole surface. There's not one space for the water to infiltrate. It's just going to direct runoff.
Can't we hold the assembly of Ladadekotopon responsible for approving that construction? Because if you are being asked to convert a mangrove into a mixed-use development and you did so, and 5 years down the line we're seeing flooding, I mean, somebody ought to pay the price, shouldn't it? I mean, clearly they didn't think of the consequence. Would I be stretching it if I said the officials of the assembly at the time should be answering some serious questions?
Well, interesting. NADMO had a meeting last week looking at a disaster management plan, a strategy that they want to create. And several district chief executives presented case studies of what has happened in their areas, landslides, flooding, and so forth, with great loss of property and in some cases life. And I suggested that we should have a merit and demerit system. So those assemblies that are doing the right thing get benefit. Those who are doing the wrong thing are punished. But it should go even further, because when you have to be on the... Sorry, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, you have to be on the ground to make things happen. So if the officials on the ground know that if they do the right thing, they will get benefit from it, then things will go well. But right now, there's no accountability. We should follow those documents, find out who signed that particular document. Who signed that particular document, and follow the paper trail of all the people who approved it and have them brought to book. They will say that they did nothing wrong. But the fact is that they have created a disaster that is going to cost millions just because of their signature.
The Aluta continua. I'm sure I will call you again at some point.
Well, Bernard, you know, I said this several times. I'm a very cynical person, and I've been in this business now for about 40 years, from the days of the first environmental action plan that was managed by the late Prof. Lane. And every year, I become astounded at how far we can go. I thought we are bad. Then the next year it is worse. They say, oh, we cannot drop further. And then the following year it will be worse. So I'm sorry. I don't think, as for me, I'm on my way out. But for you young people, I don't know what 2050 is going to bring, because that is the time when climate change is really going to hit Ghana.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. Have a good morning, Prof.
Yeah, okay.
Professor Chris Gordon is an environmental scientist, and we talk to him a lot on these matters.
Can I just bring in a caution with the newspaper notice? I think it's important to say that the conversation should be on the assumption that the proper due diligence wasn't done by the assembly before the notice was put out. Ordinarily, that will not be the only step an assembly will take. They themselves have to undergo their internal investigations as to the application that has come and the purpose or the use of that particular land. So,
Fair
and
enough.
it is in line with regulation.
But can the aftermath not be a reason for us to go back and check whether they went through all those things? As in, what has happened in the aftermath of that permit being granted? Can that not say, well, let's really go back and look at whether you did your due diligence in your EIS and all those things?
You can ask your questions. Questions can always be asked. But the point I'm making is that the aftermath may or may not suggest what you're saying, that the due diligence was not done. So it will be on assumption. We cannot categorically, on the face of the notice in the newspaper, suggest that wasn't done. That the principle ought to be that they conduct their internal due diligence before and putting the application out there, asking for people with issues to it.
So you are speaking law, which I agree. But my question is, if somebody has demarcated an area for as a mangrove, and a developer tells you that they want to convert it into a mixed-use facility, are there rules around how to agree? And are those rules just based on law or environmental science, or even common sense?
So it's not an issue of law or environmental science as much as the processes. Okay, so the assembly's process in making its determination is not simply a matter of their regulations, whether the regulations permits them under the land loose by the Land Use and Spatial Planning Act permits them to use the land for whatever. What is important is that there's a procedure which will include I believe, an what you call environmental assessment. So it's not to say that the use of land cannot change. Okay, it has to change under certain conditions.
Do we know those conditions?
We don't know. So that's why I'm saying that we should just be cautious in the conclusions we make about the documents, the notice in the newspaper. They may appear to speak to a particular narrative, but if you go behind, if you get into it, so questions can be asked, but just be careful with the conclusions that we make.
Fair enough. Let me do a couple of announcements. A couple of comments, and then I'll do a final interview because you mentioned, Caleb, that when you looked at the aerial videos, you saw a lot of waste. We've also spoken about waste management, and I think Ohene Safo says you can't stop flooding as a single issue. It's multifaceted.
Yes.
And the flooding has coincided with a waste management crisis. Now, there's a gentleman who lives in Chad who sent me a message, which I feel can segue us into this conversation. Now, he says,
Do you have it?
yes, just a minute. So,
So while you get
he says
that
in Chado,
information.
in Chado. One major issue is the refusal of the refuse companies to collect rubbish over the last 2 weeks. You can imagine where people may be sending these. In Chado, there also seems to be mini road construction going on for the last 3 months. They dig the roads and start culverts and then they disappear. This disrupts the flow of the rainwater, and you can imagine the cumulative effect on that. A major issue is an engineering one. Social engineering, I call it. I hate it when leaders try and give civic education lessons after disasters. Humans are not bended to be altruistic or law abiding. That's why we have leadership, laws, regulations, etc. to ensure compliance. What we are experiencing is a manifest failure of engineering and of leadership. Now, the reason I bring this comment is this person lives in Chad and he's talking about engineering challenge and also a waste management problem. ISE have done a study where they say an analysis of Ghana's waste and sanitation sector reveals 4 key challenges that impede the sector's transition to a modern, sustainable, and economically productive system. First one is Ghana's waste management system is undermined by fragmented governance structure. That's the first point, with overlapping responsibilities among various ministries and assemblies. 2, waste collection services across the nation are largely inconsistent and inequitable. 3, Ghana's waste management system relies heavily on a dynamic informal sector, including Aboboya, who are not fit for purpose in their view. And 4, the prevailing collect and dump model overlooks the immense economic value locked in Ghana's waste system, where we can generate power and do recycling. I'll come to this shortly, but I want you to read a few comments that have come through for me, Caleb.
All right. Let's see about that. On the refuse issue.
Yes.
I got this message from a friend who lives in the East Legon Hills area, and it says, "Bro, there's a looming cholera outbreak in East Legon Hills. So the Bola guys have not been here in more than a month. They don't have a place. I hear they don't have a place to dump, and according to them, the whole place is flooded. Bola or car for one house." Basically, we're speaking pidgin to say that their refuses have remained in their homes. Their refuses.
So this is not just Chado.
Yeah, this
because
is East Legon, this is Jamestown also.
You did a report yesterday and mentioned 2 areas where refuse are not being collected. Do you remember the name?
Jamestown area, right?
No, you don't remember.
The
It was
people
AMA.
Yeah.
So it was Jamestown and some other area.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
refuse,
uncollected refuse in Accra.
Close to AMA.
Now, the other problem with that is it's bad enough not to have refuse collected. In the report you read, one of the people said because the refuse hasn't been collected, they have to find a place to throw it.
They said for a month.
Good. So you have a challenge with waste collection, and then you have people's attitude which tells them that the wisest thing to do if waste is not collected is to dump it somewhere.
And a lack of enforcement.
Good. So as Ohene is saying, the thing is multifaceted, and we need to also deal with the waste management angle to the issue. But if you can read a few messages from
Yeah. Okay. So good morning, Bernard. Please ask him about the delays associated with the disbursement of funds from the Ministry of Finance. This is Alfred. I'm sure he's referring to the construction of drains under the Garrett project. Most of the contractors, I know there are Bofu construction project. That is one that Fair Sky is handling. It's delayed significantly, but to more messages, Bonti Benjamin Bernard says we can't continue to lose lives while we all know the solution to flooding in the city. Government must employ the 64 regiment engineers to take the bull by the horn. If the civil engineers can't do it for the safety of our beloved nation, Ghana deserves better. You say.
So the problem is not that our engineers are not good enough. The procurement and the choices around how to even engineer is the issue. So even if you bring 64, they may be technically good at what they do, but the question is, will they be allowed to prioritize what has to be done?
Yeah.
So it's not as if the engineers doing the guy project are not good enough.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of things.
Completely.
And I feel like this idea of one size fits all solution doesn't really work.
Not going to help.
Yeah.
More messages, Charlie. I think we need to move the capital from Accra. It will move a lot of people away from here. Hence, some relief. The human engagement will reduce. Also, the idea of open drains and gutters must be a no-no. All drains and gutters need to be covered with openable slabs. Ezekiel Sender from Dodo. Ben, I was going to say.
Let me just
earlier,
read one more message. And this is a message that says, rain has become the trigger that exposes decades of failures in planning, engineering, governance, enforcement, and public behavior. Cities around the world receive far more rainfall than Accra and do not flood to the same extent because they have systems that work. The challenge is not one problem, it's several systems failing at the same time. The problem is layered: poor urban planning, engineering failures, general lack of maintenance, poor solid waste management, illegal development, climate change planning, and management. We need a long-term solution, an all-inclusive national solution.
I think that's
Audrey sent me that.
Beautifully put and summarizes issues. Now let me do 2 quick birthdays.
Audrey, as in my twin sister, by the way.
Is it? She's the one with engineering, or
no? She's a finance.
But her, she's the one who creates the designs. You just do laws around it. She does the design. She does the innovation. You do laws to protect the innovation. So you know what I'm saying?
I rest my case.
Can you do carpentry work?
I can talk about it.
Good morning, this is a special request for a participant at the recently held management boot camp, Stara of Ghana Exim Bank. She shares her birthday with her son Ian of the Light Academy Adenta and her twin sister Mawa, CEO of H-Stone. Please wish them a happy birthday. May God continue to order their steps and bless them abundantly. This is from George Yeboah of Access Bank to Stara of Ghana Exim Bank and Ian and Mawa. You didn't add their names. Happy birthday to Rukaya Salifu, aka Kia. Or Kiao of Ghana TV Service. Wishing you the very best from your friends.
Yeah.
And then happy birthday to my daughter Kiona Osoro Adompokua Asari. She's cherished. You don't add your name. Happy birthday, 11th birthday to Anina Adole Hansen Gashon. We're proud of the wonderful God, of the way that God is. We are proud of the wonderful God is shaping you into.
Who is missing? So we are proud of the wonderful God who is shaping you into.
We are proud of how God is wonderfully shaping you.
We are proud of the wonderful person.
Interpretation.
Oh, okay.
May God's favor continue to shield you from your Uncle T, Ethan, and your parents, Dr. Hansen Gashon.
Okay.
Godfrey, you're supposed to read through these messages and edit them before they get to me.
But I was
not allow me to be dying short on air. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to my. He's supposed to be editing. It's something I need to know what we do behind the scenes. When I come and speak English, it's not every time that I'm speaking. No, somebody needed to have edited the English for me.
I'm not done.
You are not done. Why are you not done? Why are you doing it in your own time? We are going to take it from your salary. Petra is 15 years old. Petra sees your whole journey, not just your retirement, from building wealth to settling down. We have solutions for every turn. Investment for your future, insurance to protect what matters, easy homes to unlock your own doors early. Visit petraonline.com. Petra, achieve more. Are you in a world moving towards sustainability? Supersem Cement is leading the way with our LC3 technology and eco-friendly innovation, making us Ghana's best choice. Choose Supersem Superfast 32.5 hour for plastering, mortar, screeding, and block laying. Use our heavy-duty Supercem Superpower for the 2.5, R for durable foundations, coastal works, and high-rise structural works. Supercem cement dries fast, is waterproof, and prevents moisture damage and powdery walls. Call Supercem on 055-3060-517. Who do we have on the line? We have a researcher from the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research who say our waste management and sanitation in Ghana is a major problem. They did a study a few months back, and I think now that we are discussing flooding, there's a big sanitation and waste management angle to the flooding. And what is his name? Dr. Kwame J. Thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard, and good morning to your listeners.
Wonderful. We know you do statistical, social, and economic research, but we didn't know you were interested in waste management and sanitation. Usually you do poverty, you do a lot of the regular things. So what piqued your interest in sanitation and waste management and its economic effects as a research institution?
Well, Bernard, you just mentioned the economic effects, and like you said, we are interested in economic research. We're also interested in social research at ISE. And obviously there are social dimensions to waste management. There are health-related issues, which are social issues, of course. And then, of course, there are economic implications for investment in waste management or the lack of it. And therefore, all of that interests us here at ISE. And at ISE also, we are focused and interested in sustainable development, complete development of our people. So yes, that was definitely a point of interest.
You may want to expand this to look at flood resilience and urban systems, but let me stay with waste management.
Right.
From the executive summary of the report, it seems to me you're saying that our waste management system is not fit for purpose, and you give 4 reasons for this. Can you elaborate?
Yes, Bernard. So currently, the governance structure around waste management needs an overhaul or an improvement. There are currently overlapping responsibilities, and indeed, if you are looking at the structure of governance for waste management, you don't have, for want of a better word, a regulator in the space per se. After the ministry, then you just have the actors. So that is some gap that exists that some restructuring could deal with. But beyond that, we have seen that waste collection across the nation is largely inconsistent. It is not equitable. I've heard you read messages from people who have said their waste have not been collected in over a month. And this is not just showing up today. This is something, a persistent issue, and which can be linked to the inadequate investment that we as a country make into waste management. It's often more or less seen as a sector we invest in after we've taken care of, quote unquote, and I'm using this advisedly, more important matters. We do it more like residual investment of a sort, and that is what culminates into waste not collected, the inconsistency in collection, and that has also given birth to the Aboboya operators, who I have to say are indispensable to the current system as we have it, but yet that system itself does not drive the change that we need. And of course, we talk about the fact that the current model where we just collect the waste and dump it, overlooks this immense economic value that can be gotten even from waste. We talk about the recovery system, the composting, waste to energy. These are all things that economic benefits we could derive from waste, but the current collection and dumping alone is definitely not bringing us these kind of benefits.
So in terms of drastic change, would you say we need to start with the governance system where we have like an authority? Because you're saying that there's fragmented governance, overlapping responsibilities, preventing cohesive action. Should that be the starting point for resetting our waste management?
Well, Bernard, I would say that is definitely important, but not the only one. And if we are going to start with that, it has to be accompanied by significant investment. Just setting up an authority and leaving it there is more like putting up a bureaucracy for the sake of it. And that's not what we are advocating here at ISE. Yes, that governance structure is important, but because that is what will then drive the change that we need. But that change will have to come along with significant investments, financial investments into the sector to then make the bureaucracy yield or deliver the result that we are looking for.
You mentioned that the collect and dump model overlooks the immense economic value locked in Ghana's waste stream. Could that be the missing link? Because if people feel like, or if people understood the economic value of recycling or generating power from waste, it'll probably attract better financing than what we see today, right?
Yes, and this cannot be done at the individual level, at the micro level. So an individual who is generating what in this model would then be an insignificant amount of waste, is not enough to give us this. But if this is done at the macro level, at the district level, then we have significant amount of waste generated within a district or within a municipality or locality to then do the recovery, the composting, and the waste to energy and stuff like that. So you still need some authority sitting at the top to help to drive some of these changes.
Well, I don't know who you give this research to. Who's the action person here? Is it the local government ministry that's supposed to act on this? Is it the presidency? Because it looks like waste management has become such a broad topic that we are not even sure who owns it. So when you did the study, who did you present it to and what did they say?
Well, that's a good question. We have to say that a lot of our findings also have to do with the financing bit of it, right? There's a huge financing gap. And so you know that when finances come in, then, well, you can take it wherever you want to take it to, but you need the people who make decisions about money to count. And so we have shared this report with the People's Representatives, Parliament, various subcommittees of Parliament, just so that they can know what it is and then advocate for better financing or more financing into the sector. So Parliament has seen this, but of course we have also interacted with some ministries, like the Finance Ministry, like the Local Government Ministry, which is in charge of sanitation now, the Health Ministry. So because of the health implications that we also found and the huge health burden in terms of cost to the nation, we've also done some interactions with them. So we are hoping that again all of these officials can come together, and of course ISE is always ever ready to provide whatever support that is needed or present the evidence once again that we have found to guide the decision making and more so the resource allocation in respect of this. And of course I need to mention that, so yes, we had flooding yesterday, we are talking about sanitation. The other issues that we have found to have contributed to the situation we experienced yesterday, some of them are issues that would not ordinarily be an issue if the rains did not expose them. But sanitation is quite unlike it. Okay, whether it's raining or it's not raining, in dry seasons, in rainy seasons, the issue of sanitation is absolutely important and topical. Even when it's not raining, it's leading to some other diseases. When it's raining, it is clogging the drains. So it's something that, like you say, it's so huge, it covers January to December. It's not a season-specific issue.
We'll leave it here for now. Thank you, Dr. Kwame Attah-Mensah of the ISE, for your knowledge and insight. That was a discussion on the importance of sanitation and waste management as part of this conversation. We'll give you an overview of the devastation and the efforts the fire service led to save people. But let me do two quick announcements before we do this. Are imported bolts and nuts delays slowing down your projects? At 7-Eleven, baseline bolts and nuts, premium bolts, nuts, washers, anchor bolts, stud bolts, U-bolts, and more are manufactured right here in Ghana. We also provide advanced coating and surface treatment solutions, including Silan PTFE epoxy coatings, galvanized phosphating and corrosion protection systems for demanding industrial applications. So whether you're in construction, mining, manufacturing, or oil and gas, you can count on faster delivery, shorter lead times, and a dependable supply of high quality bolts and nuts proudly manufactured right here in Ghana. Call 7-Eleven on 055-712-6501 or 054-496-7307. 7-Eleven baseline bolts and nuts, made in Ghana, made faster, made stronger. If you're looking for a fun way to stay active, connect with people, and have an active and exciting Saturday morning experience, this is the event for you. On 11 July at 5:30 a.m., Omni Basic 11th Health Walk happens at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Expect an energetic health walk, massive exhibition with great deals and discounts, and a chance to network with over 1,000 Ghanaians. Set a reminder and get ready for an unforgettable experience. University of Ghana Sports Stadium, July 11, 5:30 a.m. Let's do this together. Omni Basic Health Walk. Better health starts here. Your child deserves more than a school. At Penfield School, we're building confident, capable learners for 16 years. We are co-ed and boarding day school. So we're co-ed day and boarding school running from creche through to SHS. We have a unique hybrid curriculum combining Ghana's GES with Cambridge Checkpoint, IGCSE and A-levels. Admissions for the 26-27 academic year are open. Slots are limited, so call 027-233-5359 or WhatsApp 026-423-3533. Penfield School, more than a school, a launch pad. Why is it that healthcare always feels like a battle? 1 minute you're fine, the next you're facing rising costs and a diagnosis you weren't ready for. Aiding Care is the reset button. We are Acacia Health's dedicated insurance for individuals and families. What I love about it is it combines everyday easy accessibility with the absolute trust and experience of a proven health insurer. We are the health partner that actually answers when you call, making sure your family is shielded from the wahala of uncovered expenses. Stop fighting the system and start working in peace. Reach out via edencare.acacia@myenterprisegroup.io and choose Eden Care today. Eden Care brought to you by Acacia Health.
And you know, we often say that good health shouldn't be taken for granted. So whether it's for yourself or loved ones, visit the International Maritime Hospital at Tema Community 3 for quality specialist healthcare. Their team of professionals is committed to providing compassionate, patient-centered care in a welcoming environment. For enquiries, call 0303-220-030 or 053-519-7061. And we all know that silence. When your rent is due and you can't pick up the call, your shop is empty, you're pretending it's fine. Salary finished 2 weeks ago, there's still a week to go. Your goods are stuck at the port and the clearing agents keep calling. When your business is ready, your business idea is ready, but the cash isn't, that silence has a name. Is money. Bills breaks the silence. Whether you need working capital, a salary loan, emergency cash, or startup funding, your Ghana card is all you need. Call Bills Microcredit today, 0596-920-833. Break the silence. Bills got you. And if you're looking for a best of flavor in every sip, please discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. We have Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy, all of that for your grabs. Find it at a local store near you, 0550-032-231. Piva beverages, a taste you will love. And you know that moment when you're trying to impress, but you don't know what to say. Relax, just share a pack of Munchie chocolate chip cookies. That's rich, chocolatey crunch. That's the talking for you, whether it's break time at school, chilling with friends, or that special someone walking beside you. Munchie makes every moment feel easy and natural. So next time you're heading out, don't forget to grab your Munchie chocolate chip cookies. Start the moment that matter and enjoy the unmistakable crunch of chocolate joy.
Too long in our little ghetto, rams been going on, let's protest. Children of Israel who really love right. For just sake I and I as a watchman around Babylonian wall. Oh, children of Israel, I and I should never hold our peace while wrong is going on day or night. Man, bust down Babylon gates as they prepare the way, prepare the way for your people. Fight down war and crime, fight down war and crime, fight down war and crime.
Fight down war and crime. and build up righteousness. Cha. All right, a couple of quick things. A friend of mine has posted a long article, and he says, Mr. President, a new city is no substitute for rural transformation. It's a nice read. Probably post it for you to read again. Fire Service did some really great job yesterday. Kaka, I don't know if you have the highlights of their response. If you don't, I can read some highlights here. They said from Sunday, June 28 to Tuesday, June 30, firefighters and rescuers of the GNFS remain on high alert, responding to multiple fire, flood, and rescue emergencies across Accra and surrounding communities. Sunday, June 28, at Latabio Koshi, firefighters from the industrial area responded to a domestic fire at 8:30, brought it under control by 8:56, and fully extinguished it by 9:29. One room and its contents were destroyed. A room and a hall were salvaged. Later at Labadi Kojo Sardin, firefighters from the Trade Fair fire station responded to a commercial fire at 12:49 p.m., contained it by 1:17 p.m. Blaze partially damaged a metal container and its contents. Preliminary investigations indicate that an overcharged solar panel battery may have caused the fire. Meanwhile, at Asutrari Junction, 4 fire tenders responded to a burning fuel tanker. The fire was brought under control by 6:03 a.m., fully extinguished by 6:30. The tanker and its contents completely destroyed. One person sustained injuries and was conveyed to hospital, while one fatality was recorded. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Monday, June 29, following torrential rains, GNFS led and supported several rescue operations, flood rescue operations. At Chadola Stop Accra, a joint operation involving Fire Service, Ghana Police Service, which is Marine Police, and NADMO and the Ghana Army, rescued 105 people, comprising 40 women, 20 men, and 45 children, and moved them to safety. Across the Tema region, firefighters responded to 23 emergency incidents within a 24-hour period, including 6 fire outbreaks, 8 flood-related incidents, and 7 fallen tree cases. Rescue teams saved 12 persons trapped by floodwaters and assisted more than 50 residents to safety at Tema New Town. One female trader was reported missing after being swept away by floodwaters near Tema Community 1 Market. At Tabora number 6, Accra, a 4-story building collapsed. Fortunately, all 12 occupants evacuated safely before the collapse, and no injuries recorded. Then, June 30, which is today, 2:30 a.m., Fire Service had completed extensive flood rescue operations within the Adabaka-Odona corridor, rescuing over 300 people from floodwaters. Sadly, 4 persons comprising 3 females and 1 male lost their lives. Firefighters also fully extinguished a fire at Odona Rubber Market near Circle, and they give a summary. Total people rescued 479, flood-related deaths 4, fire-related 1, total death 5, according to this data. Building collapse survivors 12, persons injured 1, missing person reported 1. So kudos to the Ghana Fire Service for a great job done. Couple of birthdays. Ben, at please wish my wife Susie a happy 49th. An amazing woman who's been a loving wife, strong pillar in my life, a safe haven for our children, and a courageous fighter and a faithful keeper of our home. My prayer for you is that God continue to protect and bless you. Happy birthday, my love. May God continue to shine His light upon you. Thank you for being an incredible woman. This is from Divine Otu Agohom to his wife indeed. And then let me give you a final one coming into Letitia Osei, aka Tishbu.
Tishbu.
This is coming in from Yao.
Tishbu.
And to my love, Mr. Osei Bufa. Okay. Thank you for being my peace. May God bless you from your wife, D. When we come back, EdTech Monday is happening on a Tuesday, because Monday did not allow us to do this. We are discussing data sovereignty and all these beautiful things with 4 critical speeches. Stay with us.
City 97.3 Accra.
Eno, you know what our father left us when he died?
Debts?
He left us land, Eno. But Nanayo said the land is his. The court said, come back in 2031.
Hey, that's not an inheritance. That's a curse, brother.
Real Ejapade doesn't come with disputes. At Deftraco Woodlands, a 592-acre master planned gated city in Dawenya, your inheritance is waiting. Don't leave your children a court case. Leave them Deftraco Woodlands, the Ejapade they'll be proud of. Visit woodlands.devtracogroup.com. Call or WhatsApp us today on 0208-732-302.
Kofi, I think we need to call them.
Deftraco Woodlands, where your roots run deep.
Where do your hopes and dreams take flight? The money you've earned, the future shining bright. At Petra, we're not just here for your retirement plan. We are here for the life you've imagined and then some. From your child's education to your dream home's door, we'll help you achieve what you're striving for. Petra is here, steady and strong. Your wealth in safe hands, where it belongs. With investments that grow at rates that compete, we build your future with every heartbeat. That's Petra, your partner. Come joy or strife, guiding you toward the dreams that define your life. For your pensions, investments, loans, and more, visit our website at petraonline.com or call 0242 435037. Petra, achieve